you've got to just run with the flow, just enjoy the process as it were. None of it is constructed in any manner to hurt you and your sensitivities. None. So this is pure love coming from here, okay? Pure love, completely. And I'll continue to profess love to you until I win you over. That's my intent. Welcome to the show. Anyways, I am Annie Abdusalam. You're listening to Today's Quest. We'll be doing this from now to 11:30, 35, 11:40. It depends on how the conversation goes. I hope Dave didn't hear that. Dave is almost going to have my head this morning if you heard 10:35, 11:35 or 11:40. Well, we're supposed to wrap up at 11:30, so let's quickly get this started so we have enough time to take in all the responses. I see a few of you already upset I don't take all your responses. So here, let's start off. And the newspaper review segment, which kickstarts today's quest, or this part of today's quest. Today's quest starts from 6 a.m. But this part of today's quest, where we have the newspaper review, we have the stories up on our social media handles of Facebook and Twitter, or social media pages, I beg your pardon, of Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and please follow, like, and then comment on any of the stories that takes to your fancy. From the Vanguard newspaper, we've got 7-day ultimatum to Fulani herders, presidency Akeredolu at war. 7-day ultimatum to Fulani herders, presidency Akeredolu at war. And then you also have insecurity, north under siege of insurgents, bandits, kidnappers. This is coming from the Northern Elders. Insecurity, north under siege of insurgents, bandits, kidnappers. Northern Elders are lamenting. And you've got Governor Bello rejects COVID-19 vaccine, says it's meant to kill. And then somebody was saying yesterday that the best team to win elections in 2023 is what's this guy, Ebonyi State Governor Umahi and Yahya Bello. Where's that? The person should come back and read what Yahya Bello is saying here and tell me whether that's the kind of person you want to see in 2023. All right, it says Governor Bello rejects COVID-19 vaccine, says it's meant to kill. Each time I read that, I pause. Like, I want to see where his thoughts are coming from. Why would they want to kill you through this vaccine when there's 1,000,001 ways they can kill you already? What are you producing that you're not taking from them? Anyways, we'll get there. Annie, calm down. Annie, be calming down. All right, let's move on. Says here, insecurity. Senate won't fight Buhari to please anybody. That one is the one speaking there. Look, we will not fight Buhari because of you. We need to keep this love relationship we got going on with Buhari. So, don't think we're going to fight him. Senate won't fight Buhari to please anybody. That's from Lawan. And then electoral fraud and the child bride legislation. Electoral fraud and the child bride legislation. You also have from the Vanguard newspaper, border wall fraud. Trump to pardon former advisor Bannon. Border wall fraud, Trump to pardon former advisor Bannon. And then you also have in the Vanguard, Okorocha tackles Uzodimma over poor performances or over poor performance. And then Uzodimma fires back and says, allow me to correct your anomalies. Okay. Okorocha tackles Uzodimma over poor performance. Allow me correct your anomalies. Governor fires back. And then in this day newspaper, as we make progress, be good neighbor. Buhari tells Benin Republic. Be good neighbors. Buhari tells Benin Republic. And then you have the Nigerians on Biden's governance team. I think about 3 people made it to Biden's governance team who are Nigerians. That's a big plus for us. Nigerians on Biden's governance team. I guess that's why some people are doing the Ashiebi already. I saw pictures of it online of people, sowing some Ashiebi, going for the inauguration today. But I will want to believe that this is the one time when every time they do a presidential inauguration ceremony, Nigerians used to joke then that I'm the one selling the Obama and Biden, Ashwebi, come and buy from me. It used to be a joke online, but I think this time around, this is the one reason why we should do this for real. Because about the number of people we have on Biden's team who will be working closely with him in the White House, maybe this will be enough reason to actually do the Ashwebi thing. But whatever it is, today we're talking about the number of Nigerians on Biden's governance team. And then in the Punch newspaper, INEC planning to make NIN compulsory for voter registration. INEC planning to make NIN compulsory for voter registration. And then you also have here, stay off duty, Wike Ganduje direct civil servants. Stay off duty, Wike Ganduje direct civil servants. And then also from the Punch, we have North requires over 100 years to recover from insecurity. North requires over 100 years to recover from insecurity. NIN registration, COVID-19 super spreader. Somebody tell them all. NIN registration, COVID-19 super spreader. And then in the Punch, another story, mixed reactions trail Okorocha's call for new political alliance. Mixed reactions trail Okorocha's call for new political alliance. And then Northern elders threaten to mobilize against APC over insecurity. Northern elders threaten to mobilize against APC over insecurity. Well, I guess Lawan still doesn't think he needs to fight the president over anything. Moving on to the Guardian newspaper, residents seek government's intervention as land grabbers trouble Ogun residents. Residents seek government's intervention as land grabbers trouble Ogun residents. Politics. Here we're looking at Ogoni Group blames SPDC over pollution of Niger Delta communities. Ogoni Group blames SPDC over pollution of Niger Delta communities. And from the Leadership newspaper, Armed Forces reversing insecurity. This is what Lawan has to say. Armed Forces reversing insecurity. And Nigeria will continue to work with neighbors. This is coming from President Muhammadu Buhari. Finally, we have CBN disburses 14.35 billion naira for 263,860 meters. CBN disburses 14.35 billion naira for 263.860 meters. 263,860 meters. That's the real way to go about it. These are the stories we have here for the newspaper review segment. Share your thoughts with us. Go on Facebook, go on Twitter, and let's know what you think. Let's start off with the very first story. 7-day ultimatum to Fulani herders. Presidency Akeredolu at war. The presidency and Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State yesterday headed for a showdown over the ultimatum given by the latter to Fulani herders to vacate the forest reserves in the state. While the presidency said the governor had no constitutional powers to ask anybody to leave the state or any part of the state, the governor insisted yesterday that his 7 days ultimatum stays. In a statement by the senior special assistant to the president and media and publicity in Abuja, presidency maintained that asking the herders to leave could set off a chain of events which the constitution anticipated and tried to guard against. Statement read, the presidency has been keenly monitoring events occurring in Ondo State and the orders of the government of the state asking herders to vacate the forest in 7 days. What is clearly emerging is the lack of consistency in messaging, which in turn leads to various contradictions reading or regarding the accuracy and the intent behind the message. There is little to be said other than to call for restraint on both sides and urge the state government and the leadership of the Fulani communities to continue the dialogue for a good understanding that will bring to an urgent end of the nightmarish security challenges facing the state. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, a seasoned lawyer, senior advocate of Nigeria, and indeed a former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, has fought crime in his state with passion and commitment, greater sensitivity and compassion for the 4 years he has run its affairs, and in our view, will be the least expected to unilaterally oust thousands of herders who have lived all their lives in the state on account of the infiltration of the forest by criminals. If this were to be the case, rights groups will be right in expressing worries that the action could set off a chain of events which the makers of our constitution foresaw and tried to guard against. We want to make it clear that kidnapping, banditry, and rustling are crimes, no matter the motive of who is involved. But to define crime by the name plates, as a number of commentators have erroneously done, which group they belong to, the language they speak, their geographical location, or their faith is atavistic and cruel. We need to delink terrorism and crimes from ethnicity, geographical origins, and religion. to isolate the criminals who use this interchange of arguments to hinder law enforcement efforts as the only way to deal effectively with them. The president, who swore to defend the Constitution, has spoken against the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, in asking citizens of Northern origin to leave. He did not spare the group based in Sokoto Muslim Solidarity Forum, which asked the Bishop of Sokoto to leave, and is prepared to do all that the law permits to protect citizens all over the country in their choice of where they wish to reside and are treated as equal citizens. The government of Ondo and all the 35 others across the Federation must draw clear lines between the criminals and the law-abiding citizens, who must equally be saved from infiltrators. Beyond law and order, the fight against crime is also a fight for human values, which are fundamental to our country. Manuel Ndukwe, great to have you. Good morning. Let's have your thoughts here.
Good morning, Annie. Good morning, Nigeria. People, inhabitants, has done. Now, I'm not sure he's right. But he's not saying that because...
Akeredili never asked them to leave Ondo State.
Sneaking out from that bush.
Get to the story proper. Northern elders again raised the alarm yesterday that the region was under siege of insurgents, bandits, kidnappers, and other violent crimes, saying it will take 100 years for each to recover destruction caused by insecurity and security architecture. National things, according to him, the situation in the region is not getting any better. Goni threatened that the elders would mobilize Nigerians from other parts of the country against the ruling All Progressives Congress APC in the 2023 general elections if their demands for the administration to stop the killings in the region was ignored. He, however, hailed the appointment of the former military administrator of Lagos State, General Buba Marwa, retired, as chairman of the NDLEA by the president, describing it as a right step in the right direction. All right. He says, well, let me get to the reason why. Noting that drug abuse was one of the major promoters of insecurity in the north, Goni called on the new country. So this is what they're saying. Northern elders are saying, look, we're under siege by kidnappers and bandits and insurgents, and you don't seem to be doing anything about it. Buhari, well, we're warning you now. We're not taking to heart our complaints.
Well, you see, it's just part like the first one. When something is touching you and you know that the thing is trying to overwhelm you, you must complain. And even in your complaint, you must you look for a way to attach that to your complaint. Now, they are saying, because APC is in power at the center, now they cannot say that APC is not making any effort. But they are saying they'll mobilize every person. If truly they keep on crying, and nothing is coming from the federal authorities, why wouldn't they make that kind of pronouncement? Why? And they also, in making the comment NDLEA, that means they have faith in Marwa. So let us.
Well, Marwa is new.
Good.
So
that's what
if
I'm
Marwa
saying.
was there, then he was also not doing something. I'm sure they'll also be calling for his head.
No. You see, angle of drug abuse that is part of. It's unfortunate, truly. The criminality is too much. Banditry, these are
insurgents. That's what he says. So I'm glad he's finally able to see that now.
And he's looking like 25 years old.
He's looking like a 25-year-old man.
Because his forehead is shining.
I don't know what the man is trying to induce.
He's not repeating anything.
Lord Ashafran, let's get to you about the North.
You see, sometimes when I hear so many things in Nigeria, I begin to wonder if we are really better. What they are saying, or determine who becomes security Marwa very well. Now that Marwa is coming on board, drug problem in Nigeria will be over. I don't get the thinking really. What I understand about security and management of security is that it's a holistic affair and everybody plays a role in it. Right? In where I am coming from, in Ahoda, in a community called the Doke here, OSPAC have gone to burn down completely the house of a widow. She was not even at home. A widow, not doing anything there. Mrs. Jeanette's house, a Bilogo, is completely burned down. Not one pin was removed there. And these OSPACs were coming from somebody's palace. They burned the place and they went back there. The person who owns the palace is an elder. What does that have to do with a service chief? What is the cooperation? What is the cooperation? Yes, you have a security challenge, What is the cooperation of the elders? What will convince me that these elders, directly or people that are close to them, are not festering insecurity? They are not festering insecurity.
Yeah.
We know of vigilantes operating in the same area that this house of Mrs. Janet Ebelog was burnt down. We know of vigilantes operating in that area that have killed over 4 people. And these vigilantes are loyal to a palace within that area. So who are the people causing insecurity in Nigeria? And why is it that it is service chiefs, a maximum of 5 people, leading people that are in the battlefield? That is your problem. How come there is serious operations going on? The Air Force is in operation, the Army is in operation, the Navy is in operation, everybody.
I guess the people are still dying.
Problem in my area, and I'm doing something, and the other person is doing something.
We've been doing
and
something
the other
for
person
years.
is doing something.
We've been doing something for years, and it's not working. How much longer do we have to keep at this?
My problem is,
and then somebody else will say, "Oh, why put somebody else instead of Annie? What makes you think that person will do?" We don't know.
Okay, so
at the point as we are now, we don't know. But if Annie can't think outside the box and do anything better than what she's doing, please bring somebody else.
Beautiful. So, a widow, Mrs. Janet Ebelogo's house was burnt down by OSPAC in Ahoda, in a docket.
That's not what.
No, I'm coming. No, I'm coming. No, I want to give an instance.
You mentioned it more than 20 times.
Yes, I want to give
mention a scenario.
No,
tell
wait.
me about. No, hold on. Tell me about the village that was ransacked in Zamfara where 15 were dead.
No,
use that as an example.
I will do. Let me say something like this. Now, I will now ask the government to sack the JTF man in Ahoda and replace it. To sack the area commander in Ahoda and replace it.
No.
Is that how it works?
No,
Does it work like that?
If it has been persistent. Every day and saying that their houses have been burnt down.
To say that remove commissioner of police.
Remove
DPO.
That's the part of the northern elders. You don't.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't agree with them at all.
Lord,
I don't.
Okay, we got your position, Dr. Bidima.
Is that when in learning, when you get to a plateau, and you are reading, and you get to a plateau, there's nothing again you can add to it. Either you are stagnated or you begin to diminish. You have in every facet of our life. It's even in the church. New blood inject. The people who are having the heat of this thing today are crying. They are not joining the rest of us. So say, look, change the service, you rejig your security architecture. But we are the stabilizers. They should not arrogate that kind of power to themselves. That without them, no other person has the power to choose this thing. But
I don't think that's what they're saying. I don't think that's what they're saying. I'm trying to say something here, yes. Dr. Bidima. I don't think that's what they're saying, because from what I read, I think what they meant was that they will gang up with other regions who want to work against the APC.
That's what they mean.
Gang is okay.
Of current spread of the virus in the country. Like several other countries, Nigeria has recorded a second wave of the virus with an average of 1,000 cases daily in the last 2 weeks. The increase in cases for several other diseases that are killing us. They want us to use the COVID-19 vaccines to introduce the disease that will kill you and us. God forbid. We should draw our minds back to what happened in Kano during the Pfizer polio vaccines that crippled and killed our children. We have learned our lessons. We've learned our lessons. If they say they're taking vaccines in public, allow them take their vaccines. Don't say, I said you should not take it. But if you want to take it, open your eyes before you take the vaccines, the governor said. In one breath.
Well, so take it. They will be.
They'll open their eyes.
They open their street will enter the.
When you insert.
See, I don't know whether what is wrong with taking that particular vaccine. Other places in the world they are taking, and if it were that these vaccines were targeted at African nations, it would have been suspicious to me. But every part of the world are latching on that particular one. And they are buying, they are using them. Now, I don't know whether Bello and perhaps Dino Melaya from the same Kogi, yes.
So there must be something in that water there.
You see, I don't know whether they don't know that HIV/AIDS does not, the potency of both seems to be more infectious. You can live with an HIV person at home. If I stay as until you die or the person dies, nothing, you won't contract it at all. Are they thinking along that line? Their problem. That is why they have come up with a vaccine faster than others. People won't take. Why not you allow others that will to take? Now, it's good also APC because when the North is saying they mobilize the energy against them, that is how the mobilization is starting. So it's good they have announced whatever he has said. So let them advise him more to talk about himself. That is the governor of Kogi State. He can talk about Kogi State's welfare, but then not mandate people to do what will be individually beneficial to them.
All right, and Emmanuel, your position. No, Dasha Frank.
I think Governor Bello should have understood that yellow fever has a vaccine. HIV/AIDS has antiretroviral drugs. There are reactions by experts to every issues that occur. There are so many things about Nigeria that baffles me. You are a government official and you are too loose with your mouth, forgetting that so many things you say will have certain impact on society based on the position you occupy. Governors in Nigeria talk too freely. Meanwhile, they have aides that are supposed to talk for them in so many cases. They like to comment. They like to always be on the microphone. The whole world are stupid. It's only Governor Bello that is a genius. So we know that Governor Bello was one of the governors, if not the only governor in Nigeria, that was even arguing that there was no COVID-19, that there was none, and that NCDC should not even near his state. Now the whole world are coming up with vaccines from China to the Americas. Everybody is using all over the world. It is only Governor Bello. I don't know his pedigree as a scientist. I don't understand. I don't know what he read. So as far as I'm concerned, what he's talking should be discountenanced.
Right.
And whoever should be careful of COVID-19, because as far as I'm concerned, it is real. So if there's a vaccine for it, and the people have been taking it, even in Nigeria here, and they have not died, I don't know why he should be inciting the public and constituting himself into a health hazard as is where.
All right,
He shouldn't do that.
Okay, for your thoughts there. I'm going to get from you, Opitima, Dr. Opitima.
Well, the point there is that is he a medical doctor or is he properly advised by his health commissioner? Two, we have an agency in this country that is saddled with the responsibility of verifying the health and the state of food and drugs in this country, NAFDAC, who must go through certain processes to ascertain whether a drug or food they are good for our consumption. They will not come with such official position, and Bello is making this kind of careless statement for in that kind of position. I don't know where it's coming from. You know that certain vaccine have not been produced for certain diseases, and it took maybe less than a year to produce vaccine. You should know that the way the coronavirus ravaged the entire international community really jetted out to take this vaccine, and came back. So let's see what happened to them, whether they will die or not. I know that a lot of medical, those in the medical personnel in other places, doctors and all those things, they've been vaccinated. And they are people who are in a position to say, look, this thing is either good or not. So for raising that alarm, I think he should be called to order.
All right.
He should be called to order.
All right, let's move on from that story to another here in our Facebook page where we have put up all the stories that we'll be treating. And we have insecurity. Senate won't fight Buhari to please anyone. This is from Lawan. President of the Senate, Senator Ahmed Lawan, said yesterday that the National Assembly has no reason whatsoever to fight President Muhammadu Buhari in order to please anybody in the country. Lawan stated this when he received in Abuja a delegation from the Adamawa State, which paid him a visit in appreciation to the National Assembly for converting the Modibo Adama University, Yola, into a conventional university. The delegation was led by Senator Aisha Tudahiru Ahmed and the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Abdullahi Liman Tukur. Lawan said, when we disagree, we will do so, but we have no reason to disagree. We will not do that because we want to please anybody. It will be recalled that the senators and Nigerians have asked President Muhammadu Buhari to sack the service chiefs because of their failure to end security challenges confronting Nigeria, which the president has failed to do. Lawan hailed the efforts of the armed forces in restoring security to parts of Nigeria, saying the spate of insecurity across states was gradually being reversed. He noted that recent developments showed an improvement in efforts made by the armed forces towards addressing the spate of insecurity in parts of the country. The Senate president said those of us in position of leadership today are probably more challenged than any set of leaders. We need to pray, but we also situation of insecurity gradually is being reversed. I'm particularly happy with the recent developments about our armed forces. They're doing better than they're doing before. I'm sure the economy will also start to improve and we'll get out of recession that we entered last month. Bottom line here, because we want to please.
Representative to go at war part with the president. No, nobody is saying so. Themselves, when they were also telling... I always say that when people are saying that the assembly takes everything the president brings and all that, plus the comment himself made that whatever Buhari says is expected to be beneficial to Nigerians and they will agree. And as honorable members of the House found out that, well, perhaps the service chiefs have reached their end. And so bring other people because this country is more than how many of them, 5 of them or 4 of them. You have others. What if any of them drop dead today? Would there be a replacement? So the fact remains that as we are in Nigeria, we shall be talking about the welfare of the people. So whether senators and all that, I think you can be working in a good relationship and also do the right thing. It doesn't mean that you have to be antagonistic because you're a legislator and a legislative house and this executive. You will always be, the antagonism will be flowing on up and top. No, but in doing what is right, be articulate. Anywhere the president is, please say he has heard. He's a human. He's not superhuman.
So your thoughts there, Lord Arthur Frank?
The Senate is not a human rights activism platform. It's an arm of layer. They added this, go back, go front, go front. There was a meeting point. And the moment you have that liaison cemented by the senatorial platform, of course, government now moves in synergy. So there is a complete difference between incitement we have had. We will interface with the executive arm of government. The senatorial platform is not an legislative platform. There are so many things that can take place in the House of Reps, not in the Senate. That is why you have 2 chambers there. One is supposed to be a senior chamber, a change in the midst of...
Making it childish. An Air Force chief,
All right.
no.
Is good to them. Not beneficial to Nigerians.
Performance in the last 365 days in office, Okorocha, through his special advisor on media, Sam Onwemildo, told newsmen in Owerri that Uzodimma had failed in his 1 year in office. According to him, Mr. Modestus Nwankpa, special assistant on print media, did not fault the low score on the governor's performance, but told his interviewers that the governor has been busy correcting the anomalies meted to the state by the former governor, Rochas Okorocha. This is poor defense, using the name of Okorocha to explain away Imo's people's sincere verdict on the governor's poor outing in our interest or concern. Wampa confirmed that Senator Uzodimma had failed in his 1 year and also accepted the poor performance verdict passed on the administration by Imo people. The only excuse he could give in a circumstance was the imaginary anomalies meted to the state by Okorocha, but he could not also explain or mention to justify that callous and an unintelligent defense.
You see, both of them are actors in a warfare. Now, if Okorocha had not made this comment, we wouldn't be hearing that you had enormous anomalies in Imo State, and that's what we are spending our time correcting. That is why it's good for one to moderate one's comments. Now, if you are saying that, look at Okorocha. Is he saying that Uzodimma, who gave him the verdict, that Uzodinma has failed in 1 year. And Uzodinma on his own. I think what I understand is that Okrocha is playing the lizard. Uzodinma is also playing the lizard. One, in fact, motivated the other.
I'll pause you on the lizard behavior there. When we return, we'll have a look at that before we move on to Real Talk. Thank you so much, Emmanuel.
Never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Fort Harcourt. Fort Harcourt, are you ready?
It's 59 minutes. It's almost an hour to the top of the clock, so we'll try and squeeze this in as fast as we can. We've got the representative of Odibola here with us. Good morning. I like to call him Superman, but his name is actually
Maxwell.
Yeah. Maxwell, great to have you. Good morning. So, Maxwell, let's have a quick look at Odibola Properties. As of yesterday, I got to understand there's a Valentine.
Yeah, Valentine
special.
is coming.
And
Where's
so
your boyfriend?
Odibola is my boyfriend. Odibola Properties is my boyfriend. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So let's get to understand real quickly what Odibola will be doing this Valentine's season for numerous customers.
We have special packages for people who are going to buy properties from us in this period. Yeah, from today till up until the 18th of February, we'll have packages, special packages. I'm not going to reveal them on air, but when you buy within this period, we have special packages for you.
Okay.
For you, couples, for singles. We just want to give them treats. We'll have, let me just expose.
Mention a little.
Yeah, we have movie tickets, we have bouquets, we have dinner dates arranged specially by Odibola Properties, and it's going to be really
For
interesting.
the different categories of
Yes,
properties
exactly.
that you buy.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, exactly.
So tell us a bit about some of the properties available.
Okay, we have a lot of properties. We have properties ranging from 550,000 to 12 million naira. Yes, they are land, but on different locations. And the value of land is with the accessories, the features around that area. So around the airport area, where we have properties from 550,000 to 1.7 million. And today is inspection.
550 to 1 million.
To 1.7 million.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So today is our inspection. So if people come to our office today, we'll take them for inspection to see the properties, because if you want to buy something, you have to see it. Yes, exactly. So
Today's inspection. What time is inspection?
Inspection is 10 a.m.
All right.
10 a.m.
Where's your office?
Our office is at Nyemweli, NO Inserim Layout, Tombia Extension. So I like to be descriptive with the address.
So
coming from Ikwere Road, when you stop at the Civic Center, the Royal House of Grace Church Road is the Tombia Extension Road. So after the Liverpool Hotel, the next street by your left is Nyemweli, NO Inserim Layout. So you just get there, the security persons tell them you're going to Odibola House, and they direct you.
All right. So give us your numbers for those of us who might also want to call you now.
09064734489. 09064734489.
All right. So apart from this other property, I know there's so many others.
Of
Are
course.
these ones available on your website? Can anyone go on your website and see all the properties that you're working with or you have available?
Yes, all our properties are on the website. Our website is www.odibolaproperties.com. So we have a WhatsApp chat button. So when you're interested in any of the products you see on our website, you could just click it, and then it will redirect you to our WhatsApp, where you chat with one of the consultants.
Okay,
yes.
That's great. So this Valentine promo, do you have a time limit? When is it starting? When is it ending?
It's starting today, the 20th
Starts
of February.
today, okay.
Yes, and it expires on the 18th of
So it
February.
starts 20th of January, ends 18th of February.
Yes.
So this is great. Enough time for us to buy plenty properties.
Yes.
All right, so last words as we wrap up.
Do business with us and go to sleep.
Fine. And we're done here. We have to quickly rush to the newsroom. The news update comes up immediately. Please stay on the dial.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Annie Abdul Salam. The Rivers State Government has directed civil servants on salary grade levels 1 to 13 to stay at home due to the second wave of COVID-19. Governor Nyesom Wike issued the directive in a statement signed by the head of service, Rufus Godwins. He said Governor Wike directed the affected civil servants to stay away except those on essential duty. Godwins added that while officers from grade levels 14 and above should be on duty and assume full responsibilities for their offices till further notice, all permanent secretaries and heads of extra ministerial offices should ensure compliance with this directive and observe strictly all COVID-19 protocols. He said the directive, which takes effect from today, will remain in force until further notice. The Nigerian police force has confirmed that it foiled an attack by armed men suspected to be sea pirates on the Bonny waterways. The attack was reportedly foiled along VIP Creek off the Bonny-Port Harcourt Sea Route on Monday. This comes days after the people of Bonny local government area stormed River State Government House, Port Harcourt, the State House of Assembly, and the State Police Command in a protest against recurring attacks by gunmen on the waterways. The officer in charge of the Marine Division of the Nigerian Police in Bonny local government area, Solomon Adeni, a deputy superintendent of police, said operatives foiled the latest attack and rescued the passengers on the targeted boat. DSP Adeni disclosed that the pilot of the speedboat ferrying the passengers to Bonny from Port Harcourt, identified as Inge Hart, has been detained for violating existing navigation laws, saying that he exposed the passengers to avoidable danger by navigating to a creek that has been banned from use. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has fixed November 6th for the conduct of the governorship election in Anambra State. INEC Chairman of Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, disclosed this in a statement. Okoye said the date, followed a meeting by the commission to deliberate on the activities for the conduct of the poll, adding that the tenure of Governor Willie Obiano will be expiring by March 17, 2022. INEC said a statutory notice on the timetable and schedule of electoral activities will be issued on June 9th. And now to the foreign scene. Scotland's COVID-19 lockdown has been extended until at least the middle of February, with most school pupils to continue learning from home. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon told MSPs that transmission of the virus appeared to be declining but was still too high to ease restrictions. But Sturgeon hopes schools will be able to at least begin a phased return to the classroom in the middle of the next month. The level 4 restrictions have been in place since Boxing Day. School buildings and nurseries have been closed to most pupils since the start of a term, but with all but the children of some key workers and vulnerable pupils learning from home. And that was the news update at Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget you need to take responsibility. Do wash your hands frequently with soap under running water. Avoid touching your face in high contact surfaces when out and about to prevent coronavirus. So have a great morning. I am Annie Abdul Salam.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Welcome to Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited, a financial home that has impacted life and meaning to many lives, homes, and companies with values using strictly the international capital trade market business for the past years and still counting in Nigeria. Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited has succeeded in delivering prompt and reliable 10% monthly returns on investments for investors with a minimum startup capital of 300,000 naira only and a maximum capital of 100 million naira only. If you're looking for assured and reliable security for your funds and consistent delivery of returns on investment, think Returns Market Investments Nigeria Limited. Contact our office today at Returns House number 33B, Rumuola Stadium Link Road, after NMPC filling station, Rumuola, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, or call us on 0815-518-9002 or visit www.returnsinvestmentsnigeria.limited.com. Choose financial freedom. Choose Returns Market Investments Nigeria Limited.
The voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
It's almost 10 minutes after 9. You're listening to Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. And I'm truly excited, really, because, I mean, it's not all the time I get to see him, and he's here this morning. It's great to see you, Mr. Odibola. It has been like, what? We haven't seen since last year. We haven't seen since last year.
We are trying to allow the younger ones to grow.
Really?
Yes.
I like that. I like that.
You can't do everything.
All by yourself.
And when you
know.
see yourself doing everything, that means you're not growing. So you have to allow the people around you to grow. And you teach them what you do and allow them to do it while you watch and mentor them.
Well, let me say, at least I've interacted with the ones you've allowed to do a lot of, and they're doing well.
Yes,
Thanks
yes,
to you.
yes.
All right, so it's good to have you here in the
Thank
main
you.
seat this morning.
Thank
so
you.
we'll start from the very easy ones. Like, tell us about Odibola Properties. I mean, this started with you. It has grown to become what it is now. If you step into River State and you want to talk about properties, one of the easiest names that will come to your lips will be Odibola Properties.
Yeah.
So tell us about Odibola Properties.
Odibola Property is actually a property firm, and what we do is development. Like I will always tell people, our interest, the reason we actually started Odibola, or I actually started Odibola, is because of the bottlenecks, the issues people usually have buying land, buying houses. And so I felt if we're there, we can help them out. You know, people don't believe in professionalism. So what we decided to do is get this large portion of land, do all the necessary thing, and get people to get them so that they will have peace of mind. So Odibola Property is a development company. We get larger land, we build houses, and that is what we do.
So you identified a problem.
Yes, we identified a problem.
And you said, we know how to fix this.
Yes.
And that is why you have been doing amazingly.
Yes.
Because you've been fixing problems along the way.
That is the most important thing for us. And one thing about Odibola Property is we are more interested in the client's security. It's not all about us, it's about the client. You buy a land, you have a peace of mind. You know, the issue about land is very high. Land has lots and lots of issues. We cannot, and we can never take that away. Even we as a development company, most times you go to buy some properties, you face challenges. But you have to stand up to it because you know that you are buying the right property. So if you have finished paying and you bought the right property and somebody is coming to claim your property, you stand up to it. That is the reason we are there, to defend our clients, to make them understand that these people only come to make you scared. And when you run, they take over your property. So we have encountered so many like that, and we stood up to it. Because we do the right thing. We do our due diligence. We confirm this is our land. So if the likes of land grabbers have to come, we will stand you. We'll stand you with every resources that we have to protect our clients. Whether they've bought the land, whether they are buying the land, whether they've already bought before, we must stand you. So the advantage of investing in Odibola is that you can sleep. It's not that you can sleep as a marketing words. It is you can sleep as tested and proven.
And that means sleep for a long time. It's not sleep, then you wake up 5 years later
one
and
thing
then there's
people
a
don't
problem.
understand is that when you invest in landed property, you invest for generation.
Exactly.
So it's not something someone can just call you go. You need to look for assurance. Who are the people I'm dealing with? Who are the people I'm transacting? What do they have on ground? What have they been doing? Let me trace their background. Let me see what they've done. And you can get the services of a lawyer to help you to do this so that you can have that security and assurance that once I buy, even if I'm not in that my land for 5 years, my land is secure.
It's secured.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that's what Ojibola Property is all about. So how have you been coping in business if you're going to take into cognizance this COVID-19 pandemic? 2020 was a drag for so many companies. But I mean, I encountered your staff and your people still doing what they know how to do. How were you able to survive it through?
When you look at a pandemic, it affected business generally.
Indeed.
Because you have to work for you to earn money. So we know and we understand that the business was not as usual. But because of our passion, because the purpose of Odibola is to see if in the midst of the pandemic, most people are still ready to invest. So those little few persons that are ready to invest, we have to talk to them so that they can also invest, because it's all about investment. Whether the pandemic or not, countries are running. Even with the lockdown, country resume and they are running. It affected all sectors, but we keep pushing. And that is the reason we are also out here to also tell people that we can't use the pandemic as an excuse any longer.
Nothing is slowing you down.
Yes, we have to push on.
Let's get to this here. How do you rate the real estate development in River State, seeing that you are a major player? I mean, I've met a couple of people who tell you, real estate really will be a good venture if you're looking at maybe somewhere like Lagos or Abuja. What would you say about River State?
Well, they keep talking about Lagos and Abuja, but understand that Lagos is oversaturated and overrated. In as much as Lagos is beautiful, I usually, I'm always in Lagos, but I like you to understand that River State is also doing great. You know, one thing about a state is the selling. When you sell something, people appreciate it. So Lagos has been they've hyped Lagos very well. So what we are doing now is to also tell people that you can invest in River State. Whether you like it or not, the issue that is chasing you from River State is everywhere. It's everywhere in the country. Let us face reality. So River State is also booming, irrespective of the quacks challenges, but we are booming in real estate. The estate you see, look at 10 years before now, you can't get them. They weren't there, but right now, you find out that in River State, there are a lot of estates, there are a lot of development. You know, people are coming up. And all we need to do is to encourage each other and see how we can push the state forward and give in our best, because there is no perfect state. All we need to do with River State is where God has blessed us. We don't have any choice than to promote River State and to grow the real estate in River State. And I assure you, we don't have choice. River State is growing.
You know, because I'm glad you're saying that, because I meet people who tell you, I'm just here for a bit, you know, eventually I seek to leave to Abuja, or, you know, when you want to make money, you have to move to Lagos. So it's almost as if River State is a stopgap. You only find that maybe it will be in indigents of the state who need to do such investments. So for people who are not from the state, who are looking for where to make maybe their permanent abode, you said River State is a choice?
Well, it's a choice. There is no place like home. In countries like US, Canada, once you are bet in that country, you are a citizen. Most of us were bet in River State. We are a citizen of River State. River State has given us almost all we have. So we must tell you the truth. When we talk about real estate development, you cannot compare real estate development by you getting a land that is not prime to a land that is prime. You know, look at Odele Road. People who invested in Odele Road 10 years ago, they are enjoying, they are happy. 2 million, 1 million, they are selling 30 million. Is it the estate? Is it the JRA? Is it the Oluobasanjo Road? Is it the NTA Road? NTA Road about 5-6 years ago, you will get land for 2 million. But now you will be talking about 20 million and 30 million. And some other areas, 10 million and 7 million. So it's growing compared to before. Look at the Obrikwere houses. When this present governor took over, it was, you understand, the whole place was like a bush. But today, people are buying land there. You can't get land less than 7 million and 8 million on the road. So what are we not saying? But before, if they give you for 1 million, like 5 years ago, you won't buy. So this is development. It's developing. We just have to compare our development with our past development.
Where we're coming from.
Yeah, so that is what you need to understand. River State is growing in real estate development.
Fantastic. So how do you, and as you said, it's growing in real estate development. We have seen so many mushroom estate developers, real estate developers, land buyers and sellers. There's so many of them that are springing up these days. So how do you identify quacks? How do you identify that I'm dealing with the wrong ones?
With the mentality that everybody wants to make money, people don't understand that real estate is not just for you to make money, it's to solve problems. The solve problem of those who feel they have a housing problem. They want a land and they have that need for it. So you are in that gap to help them solve that problem. If the money making is your intention, you are going to make mistake. That is why you see the major River State real estate fair, you see so many quacks. People are coming to use bigger companies to say they are subsidiaries with the bigger companies, and at the end of the day, they will client to go and get property, and tomorrow the property have issues. But I want the general public to understand that when you are investing in real estate, you need to do due diligence. It's not just you going to do due diligence. Employ the services of the lawyer. That is what they are meant for. Let them ask 1 or 2 questions. Let them go for you. They won't charge you much. Most of them just take 5% of the total amount. And at the end of the day, you can even still renegotiate with them because they are also there to solve your problem of the real estate need.
Yeah, so
they can understand so that you don't fall into trap. Now, the quacks are there. They are in all professions. You can't take them out. Even in journalism, the quacks are there. Even every profession. But what you need to do, you that is investing, you need to watch out because you are investing your money. So we cannot come and tell you who is a quack and who is not a quack. But you know the right question to ask, and you ask the question, you just discover them.
Let me use this opportunity to ask. Can you tell us 1 or 2 questions? If I'm not with my lawyer, 1 or 2 questions I must ask.
Like you buying a land in the Greater Port Harcourt houses, you should be able to ask, is your land registered in the Greater Port Harcourt? Let me see, let me have a letter of your chart approval. You take it to the Greater Port Harcourt to do your due diligence.
Fantastic.
Yes, I think that is one of the major things you need to do. Where if your land is approved, let me see the number, the letter of approval from the Greater Port Harcourt City Development. Then if you come to this area and you feel you want to ask more questions, then you can tell them, if this land is your land, I want to meet your Royal Highness. I want to meet your chief. I want to meet the first son in the family. We want to know if this land belongs to you. You go to the neighbor, you ask. Neighbors usually know who owns the land.
Who owns the
and
land.
At the end of the day, you won't make mistake, but we are good level. We like stories. And when people come to tell us stories, we just buy into the stories.
And especially if the land is ridiculously cheap.
Yes, we have an issue where in this River State, a firm has come to give people very cheap land, and the people did not ask questions. And in no distant time, they all fall into trap. You remember those periods I keep coming to the radio. We can't call in, but I keep telling them, do your due diligence. There are certain things that are not tenable. You can't buy land for 300,000. You can't buy land for 250. If you're buying such a land, you should go to the locals directly from a developer. How? How possible?
The developer doesn't want money.
What are you saying?
Okay. Let me really ask this here. How do you rate your relationship with your clients, with your stakeholders, and government authorities? Because, I mean, like you said, one of the key questions you want to ask a real estate developer would be, show me the Royal Highness, and show me, do you have all the clearance from perhaps Greater Port Harcourt and the rest? So for Odibola Properties, what relationship do you have, especially with your clients in the past? Let me start with that.
Well, when it comes to our clients in the past, one thing we've been able to achieve is to create a social media platform, a group, where we interact with them and we allow them to ask questions about their property. And when they have an opportunity, they come to also see their property. So we make them understand that you don't just, property is not gari, it's not rice, it's not beans, that you just buy one off and decide to go and buy elsewhere. You know, when you buy a property, you are part of a family. You are part of the Odibola family. So we want to also get in touch with you so that you will know that we are always there. So we even have the WhatsApp group. We have other platforms where our clients interact with us, ask questions, know what is happening in their property, the development stand in the area and all that. And when it comes to the government, one of the things we try to do is to also get the clearance we need in any of our estates. So you have the Greater Port Harcourt development, you have the Greater Port Harcourt approval, you have the chart approval. When it comes to the building aspect, which we are doing now, you get the urban approval, you get the local government approval to ensure that you are also in the right stand with the government. So these are the things we are doing to ensure that our clients
are crossed and your I's dotted with the relationship with each segment that you need to maintain. I'm truly excited about this WhatsApp group that you have with your clients because it shows that, you know, like you said, you buy your property and go to sleep.
You go to sleep.
So you're constantly in tune with telling them we're working for you.
Constantly in touch.
Even as you sleep.
Yes.
All right, so what should the general public and prospective clients expect from Odibola brand this year, 2021?
Well, 2020 has been a very tempting year, and we have crossed that. we cannot keep telling stories. But in this 2021, Odibola is going into building. Odibola is starting his invest and travel promo from February, where we'll give people an opportunity to invest and travel to Dubai. And we are not going to make it a raffle draw. It's going to be automatic. As you make payment, you automatically qualify. Wow. So if you're listening to me now, you start gathering your family, you start gathering your friends, because everyone travels, except you don't have what it takes to do so. And we all love to travel.
Yes.
So you have the opportunity to travel through Odibola Properties. We're partnering with Ray People's Foundation, and we are going to be making that possible. Now, Odibola will be doing about 42 units of 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom around the NTA Uzoba houses after the AIT. Okay. And that's part of what we are starting. And we are starting the groundbreaking on February. We'll start the foundation, and that is part of our plan this year. We'll also be doing about 50-something units before the OPM, one of our properties there. So we want to give people affordable housing, so that you will not just think Odibola sell land alone. Is it land? When this land will start having issue now, Odibola will not go dig. No. And find out, we had about 11 terraces in Jare. 8 has already been sold.
I was just asking
we
you
just
earlier.
have few remaining. Odibola, we have in Tombia extension we are working on now. Odibola Properties is on ground. Don't allow anybody to come and tell you a story. Walk down to our office, and we don't have independent consultants. In Odibola, the reason is because we want people to tell you about Odibola in genuine. We don't want people to mix us with other people.
Yes,
you come to our property, you go to other property, you don't even know where you got the wrong stories. And at the end of the day, you feature it to Odibola and have to connect it to Odibola. No, we only have in-house consultants. If you want to know about Odibola, you come to Odibola, you know about Odibola. Anybody that tells you I'm an independent consultant in Odibola, the person is lying to you. Anybody that is telling that I'm an affiliate of Odibola, the person is lying to you. Come to our office at Nyeweli in Sirimleya to find out the truth, or you go to our website at www.odibolaproperties.com. You can also call numbers that will give you the proper details of our company. You call 0906 473 4489 0906 473 4489, or you can also call 0706 282 4485 0706 282 4485. Those numbers will give you details about Odibola Properties.
These are the ones that will give you the proper information.
The proper information. Like I said, we don't have independent consultants in Odibola.
Fantastic.
Anybody that comes to tell you, I've worked in Odibola before, I know how things work, I'm an independent consultant, he's trying to swindle you. Odibola does not have independent consultant. Odibola is not affiliated to
anybody
other real estate firm. Odibola Properties is Odibola Properties. Is only one in Rivers State. Don't be swindled. If anybody tell you any wrong story about Odibola, come and inquire.
Exactly.
If those who have sacked in Odibola comes to tell you that, I left, I'm not an independent consultant, I'm not doing this thing, but I can still take you around, don't worry about Odibola, I have other properties, just understand that the person is going somewhere.
And you have to be smart.
Yes, business is not actually easy.
I can imagine what's going on out there, and it's amazing that you have taken this time to clear it out.
Yes.
So that a lot of people don't also find themselves in the mess much later. But there are a few things that you mentioned earlier. I just want to quickly rehash on that, and that will be on the properties that you say you're ushering into the year 2021.
Yes.
And some of the bounties available for so many of us who will be buying properties.
Yes.
One of that is the buy and travel.
Yes.
And you said, unlike the past, this time around, no raffle tickets.
No raffle tickets.
You're buying, and it's a complete.
And
once I just buy.
If I should tell you the price,
don't tell me.
You know one thing about people. The last time we did the invest and travel promo, people were like, "How possible? How can they use this money and make me to go to Dubai?" Leave all those things. They've come again, but we went to Dubai. So right now, because they've gone to Dubai before, I know the challenge of doubting Odibola wouldn't be there.
Wouldn't be there.
Now we want to take 150 persons to Dubai.
Wow.
150.
Wow.
But it's going to be a short promo.
Okay.
Because we will not exceed 150.
50.
Yes.
You don't want that much.
We are partnering with Real People's Foundation to do this particular
just before
promo.
the promo, allow us, give us time, so we'll be among the 150.
No, and the land we are about introducing is just a neighbor to DHL Cooperative Estate. DHL Cooperative. This
have an
land we're
estate.
about introducing, yes, they are just a boundary neighbors. So it's not just one of those land.
Obscure lands.
It's one of
yeah.
our prime land, and we are going to make it in an affordable, because our target is to catch the low class, the middle class, and the high class. So we'll give you every opportunity to make sure you invest, so that if you fail to invest and tomorrow you retire back to village because you don't have a house, you will never call Odibola in your prayer that we did that to you. You will always say, and Odibola told me,
Odibola told me to do this.
Odibola company, they advised
All right,
me.
then. So there's the travel and invest. There are also
there are also
NTA.
42 units around NTA Road. We also have about 55 units around Obrikwere that will be coming up.
Right.
Yes.
The one in NTA is what? 2 bedrooms?
2 bedroom and 3 bedroom. The 3 bedroom we have a BQ.
Okay.
Then the 2 bedroom is just standalone, and we'll give people an opportunity to pay within 2 years.
Wow.
With just 3 million naira down payment, you have queued into that project.
Wow.
We want to make things easy for people. We want to tell them that River State is growing. It's just opportunity many have not gotten. So we want to make that opportunity available to them, so that they can invest and own houses of their own. You go to Lagos, people do down payment of 5 million, 3 million, 4 million. And at the end of the day, that is why the estate is booming there, because everybody working have an opportunity to own a house. But here you see people tell you, pay down payment of 40%, pay down payment of 50%. How would you get that? And at the end of the day, you find out that the person say, I can't. So we want to give you the opportunity. With 3 million, you queue into any of those projects.
Right.
And you see the project going.
I'm amazed. I mean,
Yes.
I know it's, I can testify to that, because I knew when the terrace started on Abacha Road, and I was telling you, let me know when.
Yes.
And here you are telling me that 8 is already gone.
8 has gone. 8 is already gone. And right
But how
now,
many is left now?
we just have about 3 left.
Only 3.
And those listening to me, if you want to queue into any of this thing, come to the office. We'll give you details. We don't want to give details on air because we've not started this promo. We'll start February 1st, you know.
Right,
so if you want details, call those numbers, come book, so that you can be part of it. Now,
Let's have the numbers again on the website as we wrap up.
now, for those of you listening to me, you can also visit our Facebook at Odibola Properties and Instagram at Odibola Properties. You can also visit Twitter at Odibola_props. Now, get this number, 0906 473 4489. 0906 473 4489. 0706 282 448. 0706 282 4485.
Thank you so much, Odibola. It's
Thank
good that
you
you're
very
here.
much.
Please try and do this more often. You know, come disabuse our minds over certain things that have been said and
you know,
set things are right.
Yeah, but it's important because many are ready to invest in River State. It's just the fear. We want them to eliminate the fear. Odibola has been on ground. We are not going anywhere. We've got so much. The Glory Cottage is over 200 plots of land. And it's fenced with gate. Are we going to leave that to run to anywhere?
Nowhere.
So when people are talking to you, ask the people talking to you, what do you have on ground? You're coming to talk down people who have a lot to show.
Odibola, we've got to go. Thank you so much for coming into the studios this morning.
All right.
And this is where we'll pause on this. We're moving on now to opinion poll on today's quest. Don't touch the dial.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. The voice.
You don't wake up one day and say, okay, this policy is working, and then you expect it to crash the market in the next.
Cassava variety that takes 7 months.
Do
they know it or they don't?
What's the beginning?
Because you can see they are involved.
They are involved, true.
So how can you solve it? What will stop it? They're involved. Look at 1.20 billion special allowance, 1.2 billion special allowance, padding of budget, 4 billion, this billion, 400 billion. How can they stop
Hello,
it?
good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, what's your name?
Yeah, this is Mr. Zion. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Zion, go ahead.
I think I totally disagree with the MA.
Today's quests with Annie.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
32 minutes has gone past 10. You're listening to Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. So let's move on now to what I don't know whether we need to touch the last story we took from the papers where we had Rochas Okorocha and his shall I say his successor, was it more of jabs? I don't know if it was jabs, but it will seem like jabs to me because Okorocha was saying, well, you haven't done well, and Uzodimma said, well, I spent all my time trying to fix the anomalies that you left behind. So allow me to do that first. I had Emmanuel speaking on that, and he said something about lizards, and I said, well, hold on to that. Well, when we return, we'll just run through that and then move on to opinion poll. So, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I was saying that both Okorocha and Uzodimma were playing the lizard because, the lizard comes from a height and it will look around. It didn't see anybody.
Nobody to applaud it.
Yes, it nods its head and then applauding itself. Now, Okorocha is claiming to have done better than Uzodimma because to him, Uzodimma is a failure in 1 year.
In 1 year.
And Uzodimma is saying, in fact, you know what is retarding my progress? It's because of all that.
It's the shoddy job you left behind.
So I am trying to remove the maze you created. So for me, they should allow Imo State people to assess them. That is what they should. It's only when some other people, whoever is dancing doesn't know the moves he's making, he doesn't see his back. Let them be appraised by Imo State people, not themselves struggling. If Okorocha did what he knows, he would have got the commendation from Imo people. Same with Uzodimma. I think Uzodimma has a lot of hurdles
ahead.
Yes, and we should not praise himself. He should go ahead and become focused. But for Okorocha, I think going around telling somebody who is just coming in that you've not done well, give him chance. Let us see how far you stayed. When he stays that way, whether he wouldn't do better.
Well, let me have your thoughts on it, Lord Ashafran. What do you think about these two? One, a governor, and another ex-governor.
I'm constrained to say, but we are here to do analysis, so we must say. I'm constrained to say that I'm not impressed at the level of maturity of those who serve Nigeria as governors, past and present. First, they talk too much. They work too little. The accountability process is suspect. What they do with resources at their disposal is difficult to actually match with what you see. And they try to hide all these anomalies under the nebulous platform of we are playing politics. Okorocha left as governor under circumstances that we all know, and is in the Senate. Ordinarily, I will expect you to comport yourself and do your job as a senator. Be very senatorial. The penchant of former governors to always trumpet their times in office, and the penchant of serving governors always throwing tantrums on former governors, to me, it smacks on political immaturity. I came to do a job. Whatever I did when I did the job is done and dusted. I've gone. I've moved on to possibly another job. I focus on the job that I'm doing. And the person who comes to do a job does the job. That you were a former governor who now made you the godfather of that state. Who told you so that you are a fantastic person because you are a former governor? Who told you are the person assessing people in the state that because you were once a governor? When you were governor, did you turn that place to a Miami? What is fantastic after you left that very state? If all the states that former governors left have become fantastic, add it up, Nigeria would have been in Eldorado. Because Nigeria is a conglomeration of the states within
of the states, yeah.
So why are these people insulting the senses of Nigerians? You were a governor. I've not had any governor in Nigeria who have come on air since they know how to talk, to tell Nigerians how much they voted for themselves as security vote. I've not had. But they know how to always abuse they abuse the microphone every day. So Rochas should be very senatorial. He's jumping up and down. His politics ended in shambles in Imo State. I hope his politics at the national level will not end in shambles. Let him pick his pieces. Be more senatorial. Use his head and play politics. Politics is an intelligent affair. It's not jumping up and down, commenting and bantering people. That is not politics. He came, I was in Abuja when Rochas came into politics. He came with fanfare. People saw a successful entrepreneur who was coming to put a new face in Nigerian politics. I hope he does not fall into the murky waters that we want to push behind. Let him remain as that face that Nigerians saw when he came into Abuja to play politics.
All right, then quickly now, Dr. Bijima, what do you think here?
Just to the line of the former, what my colleague said, if I becoming a political norm, where people come, one, they begin to look at the past and castigate their predecessors, and their predecessors also trying to clear his name by telling that this is what I did and you are not doing better. It is common from the president to even local government chairman. Even within 6 years of Buhari's administration, they are still talking about 16 years of PDP. PDP is also replying them. So also it is. When Ozodima came, Ozodima was so vociferous with the past misdeeds of former governors, and they're also giving it back to him. We have assessed you for the number of months you have been there. We are not seeing anything on ground. So be focused. I think that culture or that behavior should stop. Anybody that comes and mounts the saddle of leadership should square up whatever and make a change. Make something that is different. If you have a program, pursue your program to the end, so that at the end, people will even begin to forget whatever the past administration achieved. I think that's how it should be. All this back and forth, this thing will never help us. And it's not even helping us. We are going nowhere with them. And this is becoming even more pronounced in Imo State than any other state.
All right. We've got your position on that. So let's quickly move on to something else now on the program. If you see, we can really run through for opinion poll. So for opinion poll, we'll be taking on the very first story that we had, and that was on ultimatum to Fulani herders presidency. Akeredolu at war. It's very similar to what we talked about yesterday, but we're looking at the fact this time around that the presidency is the one he's making the statement here. So let's quickly read that story. Just give me a moment. So let me get that story up. All right, so but what I'm trying to get to the story, I remember that yesterday when we spoke about it, we particularly looked at it from the angle that Akeredolu and the herders were disagreeing on whether they had to move or not. I think the update that we had was from the Mieti Allah herders rep in Oyo State, saying that was not what they discussed at the meeting, and for them, they asked the question of moving out of the forest was new to them. That was not what Akeredolu had told them. Akeredolu at that point yesterday was still insisting that 7 days was the ultimatum that had to leave the forest reserves. Now the presidency has responded to Akeredolu's position and said constitutionally he has no right to ask them to leave because the constitution had, pre-knowledge that such a thing will happen and had tried to avoid it with the positions he had made clearly that we shall have freedom to reside wherever we want, and that for the herders too, we need to be careful so that it doesn't ricochet in such a manner where we'll see people too in other places being asked to leave where they reside. So this is something that you must thread with care on. So that's a summary. Let's just start with that first before I get to the story, Manuel.
Well, I think if Nigeria is supposed to be one, as we assume it is one, then every citizen must have right to live in any part of the country where he fancies. And that being the case, it will be wrong to tell anybody to go. However, I think Akredelu said that the focus is on a forest. And that's it. He's saying leave the forest where you are holed up. Yes, because according to Akredelu, reports are coming that from that forest, you've been coming out to perpetrate evil against Ondo people's life. Now, I don't think the presidency will say it's good to be sneaking out, at least as the allegations go, that you coming out to kill people and maybe run back to the bush. You remember again the Amoteku commander mentioned the Okada men. For instance, these people speak French or so. Now, that means maybe the possibility is there that they are not Nigerians. Now, when you have an aggregate of this kind of people, perhaps that they go to that particular bush, especially the herdsmen, that he is saying in 7 days' time, leave the bushes. Those reserve the forest, leave them. Well, I don't know. What are they doing in the bush now? If, for instance, they are grazing their cattle, I have said, if you graze your cattle, and then you have your board close to the where people are living, there won't be a ring of suspicion swiveling around you. But where you are, and the people are not seeing that you are sojourn in the bush as being something helpful to them, in that you are coming out, according to the allegation, to come and inflict harm on them. No governor, not in any place in this country, will be happy to say continue and continue coming out to kill the people. So I'm not sure Akredelu gave them quick notice, like Muslim Solidarity Forum gave Kuka in Sokoto.
Yeah,
No.
because they made reference to that. They also defended Kuka and that. They've defended also groups that had said at one point that because of IPOB, yes, to Igbos, and they said you can't make such statements. It's the same thing too now you're saying.
I think such defense is worthy because they will be inadvertently defending the constitution of the country. But here, Akredelu, you remember yesterday I was saying that Akredelu certainly is on top of the game because he's an SAN.
Yes.
He understands the law. Akredelu stopped short of saying live on those states. Rather, he said the forest reserves. Who is saying that he said something bad? The presidency. And is the presidency, happy that such mayhem as touted are coming out from those bushes and from the herdsmen? You see, one thing I don't understand, the issue of herdsmen seem to be treated with kid glove, the way I'm looking at it. Because remember, when it happened in Benue, in the Agatu area, they said people came out, the owners of the places were driven out, and the new people came and started even renaming the areas. The presidency seemed to have kept mute on that. They have not made any decisive comment and said, no, you go or this and that. Why is it that any other little thing will receive attention? But as far as the pronouncement we heard is that you block the grazing routes. And I'm asking, is it a good thing for Nigeria to remain static? No improvement? People won't expand and build more houses because it could be in the wave of this development that the grazing routes were blocked. And then you are saying, are you now saying, okay, pull down all the houses, all the structures you build along this grazing route, let people come and have their grazing route again, and then there will be peace. So for me, I think the presidency should understand what he's saying. Nobody has said herdsmen should not be in Ondo. Every Nigerian has a right to live in any part of the country where he lives, so long as that particular individual will subject himself according to the law guarding the nation.
Right, got your thoughts on that. Let's move on now to Lord Asher Frank.
In this country, I think there's a trend. The trend is that people pour their frustrations or seemingly want to pour their frustrations on every other person except themselves. Herding is an occupation of some people. It's their means of livelihood, and they have a right to live, and that is enshrined in the Constitution. just as every other people have their own occupations and their means of livelihood. There are policies and programs that people will throw up, and it begins to look like you are singling out some people for witch hunt. If you remove the whole of the headsmen in Ondo, Akeredolu should
from the
convince
forest
me-
reserves.
No, not even forest reserve.
No,
I
because
said-
he didn't say so.
No, I'm coming.
He didn't say
Let us
so.
assuming we remove the whole of headsmen in Ondo.
Why would you want to assume that
No.
when that is not what he's talking about?
Can I make an assumption for 1 minute for the purpose of analysis?
No, hold on. I just want to know why you want us to think of that.
It's because I'm still talking.
No, it's not because you're still talking.
talking. You will know where I'm going.
Why would we want to ask that we should think he wants to pursue all of them away from when he's not said so?
Okay, let us even go to the forest reserve.
Good.
If there was a problem about herdsmen, it's about farms. And a forest reserve is not farm. I think the rightful place for cattle rearers to stay is forest reserves. Because why do they move with their cattle? It's to feed them. If there is security breach in a forest reserve, as the chief security officer of a state, if I'm the governor of Ondo State, what I would have done if I have such security report is to go to my security council and ask them to provide some form of security within that reserve to take care of the issues within that reserve that constitutes breach of security. If you say they should leave the forest reserves, where then do they go? They move with their cattle now to feed them. And that will take them to people's farms. Are you solving the problem or are you aggravating the problem? As far as the issue of cattle rearing and farming is concerned, which is completely different from people who answer headsmen but are terrorists, we want to separate the two. If we don't separate the two and we mix the two together, then we're having a problem. If we separate people who are Islamists and are terrorists from the real Muslims, and we separate headsmen that are terrorists from the real headsmen, then we can now be able to deal with these issues dispassionately. What I will expect that government should be doing, government have thrown up a lot of ideas on how to solve the problem of herders and farmers. I will want a situation where the National Economic Council go back with the presidency, bring Farmers Union and the Herders Union together as stakeholders. Look at those policies again. See how you can agree on something and start something holistic to solve the problem of herders and farmers. On the issue of terrorists, whether they hide in the mosque, whether they use cattle as shield, they should be dealt with as a security concern of state. But if you ask me my honest opinion, I think that the idea of a forest reserve is something very close to a ranch. A forest reserve, to me, has a closer definition to a ranch. And where cattle should be mostly in forest reserves, and then provide security for the herdsmen and to tackle problems of people who hide under cattle to commit acts of terror. Also say, leave the ranch, don't graze in the night, don't use public thoroughfare. There are things you will tell me. I don't need you to tell me don't come to my house again. There are things you will tell me. I know you are telling me don't come to my house again. As an adult, there's a way I will relate with you. There's a way you will talk to me. There's a way you will approach me. I know that my friendship is no longer interesting to you. I don't need you to tell me get out. I don't want you to be my friend. So there are certain kind of policies that somebody will throw up. And of course, you are a son, so we know how lawyers play around the rules and the laws. We know how it works. No two lawyers will agree on one single issue. So that tells you how they function. And then you come and throw up issues. And people reason with you. And in reasoning with you, they can add and subtract. And of course, it's not only you who is reasoning. So people have the right to add and subtract on what you are reasoning. So if you are removing cattle rearers from a ranchable environment, you need to define where you wanted them to go, because we want them not to get anywhere close to farms. Because we feel that we understand that the fundamental problem is ranching going close to farms and destroying crops. So I will want rather to see more forest reserves around the country where these people should be quarantined and security provided there, so that they will not be able to go close to farms. They will not be crossing thoroughfare and disturbing traffic. Where cow dungs will not be defacing the environment. But if you are telling me as a governor that should know, then such issues should return back to the National Economic Council with stakeholders of farmers and headers and the presidency. They should sit down together and give us a holistic plan. We need an end to the fundamental issue of the problem of farmers and headers, while the issue of terrorists hiding under farms or herdsmen should also be dealt with accordingly.
Okay, got your position on that. Let's move to Opitima.
In fact, even for the presidency to come up with that statement, it's laughable. In the sense that if we are running a federal system of government and something is happening in the state that try to endanger the peace and the security of that state, the government of that state has all the power to take charge, to take control, to ensure that there's sanity in his state without any kind of reaction from the presidency. In fact, I was even, when I was reading that thing, I thought it will come even, they will call the president. This is your presidency. It means that nobody's in charge. No. Excuse me, that's my view. Because they confuse all with the presidency. Who is actually issued the statement? If President Buhari is making the statement, let his media aid make a statement that the president is making the statement. It's not issue of presidency, because there are a lot of things in the presidency. So, the governor of Ondo State, did he do wrong? No. And he was specific. Ondo Forest. He didn't say Ondo State. He said the forest. And two, why is it that this set of people will be pulling us backward in this country? How many years now? They will not want to change the way they are doing their heading things.
Has government trying to change it for them?
Must government? It's not private business.
Yeah, but government has to.
No. If
it has become a problem for them and they have, it's a private business, they have insisted that's how they want to do it. If government now says you can't, it's your private business, but you can't do it like that anymore, then give them something that will change.
For the past 6 years, we think that Buhari should have done that. If no other government did it, the people you feel that maybe they are own, you would have done that. But yet, you are even the one encouraging them, cattle colony, grazing rat, and all those stuff that have been narrations that have been coming from his presidency. You know, this is what I've been hearing for the past 6 years. And it is emboldening them to have this kind of sense of self-entitlement. And this grazing, no, is it only them that know the map? That some of us don't even know where this grazing is in the country. You know? How is it that during the colonial time up till now, that grazing rat is just earmarked for them and no other person?
Who else is grazing? Who else is grazing? Are you grazing?
People are grazing. No? I was in Obiungwa.
Those people who are grazing.
Sometime in December.
Those people who are grazing will probably know the route too.
Listen, I was in Obiungwa sometime in December, and I discovered that they also have this cattle, the natives, and they were moving within their community there, within their community. And they will, after, they will see somebody moving, they will just go back to their compound. look, go to a chain. We have this thing that look like cattle also. Yeah. They are always staying in their compound.
Is it cattle or is not cattle? He said it looks like cattle.
No,
they use it for burial in my area here.
It's called a in Igbo land.
Exactly.
But it's cow, more or less. That's cow. It's cow.
So why did you say it looks like if it's not cow?
Well, that's
no, I said cattle. No, I didn't use
but
cow.
that is cow.
I didn't use cow. I said cattle. I use cattle.
Cattle and cow.
So.
He's talking about what has 4 legs.
I get it.
You see, the thing is that this is the mentality of these people.
But you see, again, it's a lifestyle. I understand why you said those grazing do the one within the community and go back. I understand that. Yes. But this is a lifestyle of nomadic people. Yeah. Nomadic people means that they would not settle in a point. Yeah. They move from place to place.
No matter your lifestyle, don't inconvenience my community.
I have that, lifestyle. But you see that it's not, the nomadic lifestyle is not just, unique to Nigeria, Africa alone.
But
you have it everywhere.
Problem wherever this thing is still existing in modern time. In this modern time, even Morocco, even Mali, there have been these issues.
You have nomads too, even in Europe. You have nomads in Europe.
But then, Annie, do you know that there are things it must be done in all sense of decency?
I agree.
Not the way they will carry gun and they tackle from their community, occupy the community, rename it, and make it an emirate, and the government will not blink over it.
So in the place of this is what I'm trying to get at. In the place of a constitution here,
yes.
What do you do? Because you really don't want
the constitution.
You don't want to
but land use decree. The power administration of land. The person who is the custody of land is the governor of the state.
Yes, but the governor cannot even make decrees that violates the constitution itself. The constitution says that you can leave and locate wherever you want.
But not in the forest.
Is that not part of Nigeria?
You don't go and occupy somebody's forest. Sambisa forest is there.
They've chosen that forest. That's the forest they've chosen.
Yeah, they're choosing what?
The freedom to choose remains with you.
I want to say this.
The freedom to choose remains with you. No, you can't say leave this forest and go to Sambisa. I get to decide which forest I want to stay.
They have no right to decide the forest they should go and stay.
Why? The constitution
does. People own that forest. People own that forest. There's no land that is not owned by anybody in this country.
Who owns the forest?
And people own it. Community or whatever, but it's under a jurisdiction.
So good. So let's in this case, let's say it's the governor. In this case, let's say the governor. The governor says, "All right, this forest reserves, I don't want you here." Right?
Yes.
So where do we go to?
You should go to wherever you want to
go. That's the point. That means you're asking me to leave the state. It's just the same thing too. It's just the same thing too when you go to waterfront and say there's so many criminals here. So you're bringing all the communities around that place, you're bringing it down, and you're saying, where are you asking them to go? It's the same thing that will happen in Lagos. They'll go to Morocco and say, oh, there are too many criminals here. We don't know what's going on here. And then you bring it all down. And it's the same thing that has been happening over the years, but we refuse to confront the fact that you are actually doing...
In December, when Buhari visited Katsina, we saw that he went to visit his cattle. At a particular
Could you please
place.
speak to the mic? I don't know why you want to come close to me.
Speak to the
mic.
A particular place. If I come closer to you,
don't. There's wahala. Thank you, thank you, Manuel. Adjust it for him.
So the point I'm saying is this.
Yeah.
Like what he said, they have local government, they have state government. There's also federal government with their anchor borrowing and all those things that can make them stay at a place and do their...
Anchor borrowing is for everybody.
I'm not what I'm trying to say.
No, you said there. Yeah. There. That's why I wanted to make you. It's not there.
So what? So what I said, Annie, you see, these people, After is a senior advocate of Nigeria. He knows the law. And I'm sure he's applying the law rightly.
All right, then.
We should put a stop in this kind of thing that we see these people do.
Do you know, I think there's a general consensus that there's a need to stop it so we cease to have this sort of issues. But it is the modus at stopping it that is the problem here. Do you stop it by ejecting the people out of a place and say, well, get out? or you find a resolution. Look, we have a problem. So those who are vested interest, let's speak
Now,
about
we are
this.
hearing that some of them don't even speak. They speak French.
No, they didn't say no. Not they heard us. All right, we need to take a break. The news update comes up next.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Board Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I'm Annie Abdul Salam. This report says the Independent National Electoral Commission is considering making the national identity number compulsory for registering voters. A national commissioner at INEC who gave the hint said the NIN would help tackle challenges of underage voting, alien voting, and other challenges associated with registration. The national commissioner disclosed that the final decision will be reached on the matter. INEC officials explained that the permanent voter card was only supposed to be in use for a maximum of 10 years, adding that most countries rely on the national database and not the permanent voter card for voting. The Bayelsa State House of Assembly has downplayed thoughts of a plan to impeach Governor Doyediri, the chairman of the House Committee on Information Orientation and Strategy in the Assembly, Tare Pori, made the denial while briefing newsmen in Yenogwa. Pori said the rumored impeachment moves against Governor Diri were annoying and unfounded. The lawmaker added that the report is an attempt to distract the 6th Assembly of Bayelsa State. Some residents and landowners at Royal Estate within Fomosa's office in Rupoko in Obiakwa local government area of River State have raised an alarm over the demolition of their properties. Our correspondent who visited the site cited a bulldozer with an operator destroying some buildings and fences with men on police uniform suspected to be from the Inspector General of Police Monitoring Unit. The chairman of the estate, Edward Wonko Tasia, who spoke to our correspondent, said they were surprised to see the machine in company of police personnel destroying their properties. Wonko Tasie, who called on the Inspector General of Police, Commissioner of Police, and Governor Nyesom Wike to urgently intervene, said that there has been no litigation over the landed properties in the state. But a senior officer attached to the IGP monitoring unit who does not want to be recorded said they were at the site on the orders of the court and to ensure peace and security in the area. Now to the foreign scene. Joe Biden is to be sworn in as United States president today, taking the helm of a nation racked by political division and an unrelenting pandemic. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will take the oath of office beside him in Washington, D.C., which has been fortified amid fears of civil unrest. Some 25,000 troops will guard the inauguration ceremony after a deadly riot at the Capitol earlier this month. Donald Trump will leave the White House for the last time, bound for Florida. And that was a news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget to take responsibility by washing your hands frequently with soap under running water or using alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces when out and about to prevent coronavirus. To have a great morning, I am Annie Abdul Salam.
It's never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Let me tell you about a sure way to meet your basic needs. Yes, with NextGen Signature, you can now meet your basic needs with ease. Our services fall under 4 categories. Next Rent, that enables you pay your rent without stress. Next Flex, make your dream event or vacation a reality. Next Fee, you can now pay your fees with ease. And also Next Start, you can start that business and become your own boss. All you need to do, decide what your needs or projects are. Decide when you want this project or need to be met. We can help you reduce the cost of your project by 25% in 3 months, 50% in 6 months, and 75% in 1 year. For more inquiries, call 0703 354 3174. Again, 0703 354 3174 or 0901 064 2536, or come to our office at number 3 Agudama Street, D-Line, Port Harcourt. NextGen Signature, powered by NextGen Media and Infotech.
Registration and revalidation of membership register is here again, and this is a wonderful opportunity for all and sundry, including old and intended members. Remember, APC is the party built on trust, integrity, honesty, and respect for the rule of law, then delivering good dividends of democracy which Nigerians have been yearning for. I, Professor Henry Uboma, call on all Rivers fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, uncles and nieces, cousins and nephews, including those staying and doing business in Rivers State, to prepare and get ready to register with APC as registration starts on the 25th of January 2021. I wish to inform you that registering as a member of APC is a sure way of being among those that will bring better governance, because we are tired of the present one-man administration of Rivers State government. Don't be left out so that you will not regret the predicament it will cause you for not being part of those that will make history. Get ready to bring better government from 25th of January 2021. Remember, collectively, we can do it. Signed, Professor Henry Uboma, a chieftain of APC, Oba Egbemandani local government area of Rivers State.
ABC J. ABC J.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
So it's almost 10 minutes after 10. You're listening to Today 95.1 FM. So let me welcome you to this segment. I have a guest, and we'll be talking about a financial empowerment program. And this program is powered by FXTM. It is a new year with so many income opportunities to enable you achieve your set financial goals. Moreover, on this program, we'll talk about money, income opportunities. Also, we'll talk about the upcoming financial fitness seminar, which is an event where you could possibly learn how to identify these opportunities and make more money from it for you to achieve your financial dreams and also to gain your financial freedom. My guest is Petrus Okebu. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
He's a financial market analyst, an e-trader, investor. He's a trader. He's a financial fitness coach. There's so much to you, Mr. Festus Okebu. He's a member of the Chartered Market Technician Association, and he holds a level 5 diploma from the London School of Trading, United Kingdom. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Petrus.
Thank you so much. And once again, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. I thought the list was not going to end. So, as you know, it's a new year, right?
Yes.
With so many financial aspirations. A lot of people have already set their goals. Some people are saying this year, 2021, has to be my year. And at this point, you have a lot of people who are indecisive what to do, where to go to, and how to go about it. And let me just quickly ask here, as an investment expert, are there opportunities out there that you know that can help people achieve their financial goals this year?
Yeah, thank you so much for that beautiful question. Every year provides new, fresh opportunities, ideas. And one good thing about these people always make aspirations. I'm going to set these financial goals. And one key thing you need to do to, at the way Nigerian economy is now, to achieve your financial dreams is to ensure you have create new multi-streams of income. So what you've been doing before, try to create alternative ways you can make money from it. And if you've not been thinking about that, just to start now to think about it. Because I don't think there's any rich man that has a single source of income. All of them have multiple streams of income. So you make sure you start now to think about it. Now, but the thing is this. This kind of opportunity is for those that are serious-minded, because what we see here in Nigeria is every day people make resolutions. I want to be like this millions of naira, but without having a strategy, without having, putting extra effort or putting a plan how to achieve that. Now, I've seen someone who told me, I want to make this money, but they asked, how are you going to go about raising the money? He said, Mr. Petrus, I'm waiting for my friends, I'm waiting for my uncle to send me money. I'm telling you, these things, money can't fall from heaven again. You need to start, look for something inward, some things you can do within your reach. A couple of years ago, I was like this kind of people. Every year I do make my own,
financial resolutions.
I'm telling you. So, and I found out that I've never kept one because no plan until I was, a friend invited me to a financial fitness seminar, like you mentioned, organized by FXTM, where they exposed numerous opportunities for me. And they asked me the kind of plan I have. They showed me the direction, step-by-step approach, how I'm supposed to go about this plan, what I need to achieve my financial goals. And one beautiful thing, they exposed me that they made it possible for me to know that, listen, you can start little. And there are some resources within my reach that I've overlooked. For instance, they showed me how there are smart opportunities available online, that I can use my smartphone. I've been using smartphone for long. I don't even know how to really sort for opportunities out there. They expose these things to me and show me, Petrus, you have a smartphone. You are connected to internet. Why not look? There are opportunities there you can do without even depending on people to raise money. You can start small. Now, there are a lot of opportunities out there, but it's meant for the serious people who understood that, listen, I don't need to depend on anybody. I need to start small, use the resources within my tools. You have the phone. In Nigeria, we have over 50 million people connected to the internet. But the question is, what do they do when they have this?
So you're saying that online
definitely
is where we have a lot of this money-making opportunities.
Definitely. At least the ones you can start small, the ones you can use the resources. You have this. Online can give you all the
like you're saying, you already have a phone and access to the
internet. Why not look for something there to make money? So there are tons of opportunities. Let me tell you.
Tell me.
COVID-19, during this last year, it was an eye-opener. I've been preaching this on air. If you're doing business and you don't have an online interface, that business will crumble. COVID-19, last year we were in breakdown. We were on a lockdown. I'm telling you, a lot of businesses packed because
no presence online.
But now look at the people that made money. Those that were prepared, those that had interface online, so they made money. Now, during on this lockdown, I've seen some people who lost their job, who now started creating content for the blogs. Yeah. They made money from that. I've seen people who lost their job. They now use social media, to create skill sets, to start doing digital marketing for people, or as such engine optimization for people. I have seen that. Now, but the beautiful thing about this, and that, like I know, and I also recommend people, is this. E-trading business. Now, e-trading business is something that is booming. It is something that has helped all the Europeans, Western world, that even when they were locked down, they're still making some profits. Now, the good thing about e-trading, it gives you opportunity to stay wherever you are, connect to the platform and make your trade and possibly earn potential income. Now, what is this e-trading? To me, just to break it down, trading of financial assets. When financial assets are mean, you have like crude oil, you have like currencies, you have like precious metals. So you can trade all these things without physical. And beautiful thing, you can trade gold without physical owning gold. A lot of people have been looking for a way to do gold business in Nigeria, but they don't, because they feel that they need to have physical gold before. Now, they don't need to have it. They all need to do, go to the e-trading platform, connect it, choose the gold as an asset, study the pricing, then make a trade, and possibly go your way, then you can make profit. It is something as simple as that. People need to start thinking about that. Now, e-trading is not telling you to lose your job. You have your job. Regardless of whatever you're doing, this is an opportunity for you. You and I know that these 9 to 5 salaries cannot meet up our huge expenses. So it is hard time we try to look for alternatives to make money, and e-trading and looking online, especially doing e-trading business, is the key.
Fantastic. So now you're particularly telling us about e-trading out of the so many other numerous money-making opportunities online, and you're saying e-trading might just be the way to go. So when you say e-trading, where does FXTM now come to play? I want to see how I can merge the two.
Okay. Now, when you do e-trading, it's called electronic trading. That means you trade online.
Yes.
Now, you need a platform that will connect you to various markets. Now, FSTM provide that platform. We bridge the gap between you, enabling you to have access to the market. So now you do this business in a global market where there are endless buyers and endless sellers. So
it's a crazy place.
Very crazy. We connect you to those. So we come to the platform, we connect you to that market. Now, there is no competition. You're only competing with yourself. There's no competition. The market is so wide, you can do anything you want to do. So we connect you to that platform to enable you trade better in that kind of business.
So first of all, let me get something clear, because you had already mentioned the fact that you can trade in oil, gold, and all the other currencies. Is this owned by FXTM?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not owned by FXTM. Now, like I said, FXTM is provide enabling platform that will enable you to connect to Nobody owns this market. No, it's a decentralized market. Nobody owns it. There's no centralized place. Nobody owns it. For instance, you might want to, you have gold, you might want to sell it, right? What we treat is the price value of the gold, not the physical gold.
I get it.
The price value of this gold. So imagine you want to...
And it's the price value that you all are trading online that affects what I sell here physically.
Definitely. It's just as simple as that. So
I get it.
This is something we know people can do. This is something we know you can do without leaving your job. So it is cut across everybody. Now, let me tell you, during the lockdown, a banker called me and said, Petrus, listen, that how he survived not being this e-trading business he helped him a lot. Now, one thing about whenever I talk about it online, it was scam. That is why we are bringing this knowledge. Now, we're talking about, you mentioned about the seminar coming up. That is where we want to put out this seminar so that people will come to understand how these things work. It is coming from FXTM. FXTM is an online financial brokerage firm. You can Google it, fstm.com. So they are the alpha in this kind of business. So when they come in, you teach you how to go about this business so that you understand that you are getting first-class information from the expert. They'll tell you everything. Now, we're going to tell you what is this e-trading all about? What do you need to do to stay financially fit? Because e-trading is part of it. It's part of things you need to do to stay financially fit. So you need to attend this seminar to understand how to stay financially fit using e-trading business. What is e-trading? How does it work? When you talk about good, when's the right time to sell? When's the right time to buy? How do I take my profit? And then above all, how do I manage my risk? What are the risks involved in this business? Those things that we're going to expose all those things to you.
Because everybody makes it look as if there's no risk. You come in, you just make money, you go, it's smooth sailing all the day and all the time. So there is risk involved with this.
Yes. The thing about it is that if anybody comes on air and say there are no risks, just walk away because there are risks involved, which is why you need to understand it. A lot of people, someone told me yesterday, Mr. Petrus, I lost money. I gave somebody 3 million naira and the person will give me 10% every month. It doesn't work that way. Don't believe. See, even if you want to go that route, have the basic knowledge so that when the person is telling you things, so you can understand, okay, he's right or he's wrong.
He's wrong.
How can someone do business without risk? There are risks. Okay, if you give me 20% every, what are your risks? Okay,
what are your risks?
So tell me your risks, and I will know, because you can't just give me 20% without risk. So what are your risks? So that's why I was telling people, you need to understand this business. You need to understand how this things work by attending this financial fitness
So tell us
seminar.
about this upcoming financial fitness seminar. I like the name, fitness seminar, financial fitness.
Now, yes, the name financial fitness comes because it's very important to us because this year, everyone should try to make sure their finances stay fit. The way you wake up in the morning, try to stay physically fit, the same way you have to do so many things. To
make sure your finances stay fit.
I'm telling you the truth. So you need to do that. So, and it's coming at the right time when people have made their resolution, financial goals, plans, and looking for ways to achieve it. Now, it is seminar where experts from FSTM are coming here in Port Harcourt to teach you how you can, make your finances stay fit. Now, the seminar is free. That's a good thing. It's free. You don't have anything to pay.
Okay,
it's free.
Fantastic.
It's taking place coming on 22nd of January. That's this Friday. And also 23rd of January, this Saturday. Now, the venue for 23rd of January, 22nd of January, this Friday, is at River State ICT Center. It's very popular here in Port Harcourt, opposite Pleasure Park. Time is 10 a.m. prompt. Then on Saturday, for those of you who want to come on Saturday is at 8687 Olu Obasanjo Road. That's FSTM office opposite First Bank. Olu Obasanjo Road, opposite First Bank. Now listen, because of protocols, COVID-19 protocols, we need to make sure everybody reserve a spot so that we can make sure that look at the number of people that are going to attend. So if you want to attend this Friday 22nd event to learn how to, if you have been trading e-trading business, you don't be doing the right, maybe doing the new strategy, or you want to learn about e-trading or how to prepare yourself for the year financially, or how to use a smartphone to convert a way of making profit this year, you need to be at this event. So if you want to attend Friday, type PH1, shortcut for Harcourt 1, PH1, and send as an SMS to this number 080 955 32211. I repeat, if you want to attend the Friday event, type PH1 and send as an SMS to 080 955 32211. Then if you, because of engagement on Friday, want to attend a Saturday, type the same letter PH2 this time around, PH2, and send us an SMS to the same number 080 955 32211. Now let me tell you about this. Now this event is free. You have nothing to lose. You must have had this information about this, and why not give it a try? It is free. When you walk into the hall, learn how to make make money from e-trading, how to manage your finances, how to make your finances stay fit. Especially now, listen, the first 50 people. First 50 people to text PH1 or PH2 and be among the first 50 I'm going to see in the hall. I'm not just going to train you, I also empower with $10 trading voucher. So that means if I teach you how to make money e-trading, I also give out this first 50 $10
so you're
trading voucher.
willing to give $500 out?
I'm telling you, I'm going to give the first 50 people. Now,
Text PH1 or PH2 to be among the first 50 and be among the first 50. Type PH1 and send us PH2 to 080-955-32211. Again, someone told Mr. Petrus, I would have loved to do this business, but it's online. Nigerians were like, oh, we don't have a smartphone. Now, not having a fast phone shouldn't be a barrier. No knowledge is waste. Get the knowledge. You can also get a smartphone. But however, by just trying to attend the event on Friday and on Saturday. Now, this event is for all, regardless of your status. There's also room to create alternative way of making money. If you understood what the money, what economy is all about, and room that you need to, more money to meet up your expenses. Be a corporate worker, government worker, retiree, entrepreneurs, a market, you need to attend this event. So pick up your phone, type PH1 or PH2 to Expressway. Time is 10 a.m. On Saturday, the venue is at 687 Olu Obasanjo Road, FSTM office, opposite Access Bank, First Bank. Time is 10 a.m. prompt. Take the boom by the horn. Stop blaming the government. We're in recession. Government doesn't have resources to give you palliative. You have to create palliative for yourself.
They've looted the palliatives. All right, so to register, you need to book, you need to send the letters PH1 for Friday or PH2 for Saturday to 080-955-32211. That's 080-955.
Making money. This seminar is for you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, this is where we wrap up here. Stay with us. We'll continue with today's quest on your premium talk news and sports station.
Has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
26 minutes has gone past 10. Welcome back. We'll quickly move on with what we have been discussing before we took the quick break there. And it has been on the constitutionality of the move Rotimi Akeredolu intends to take in Ondo State. The headers in the forest reserves believe it is their right to remain there, and Rotimi Akeredolu says, look, we've had too many cases, unending cases of criminals using that place as a cover. So you've got to vacate. Now, I tried to liken this earlier on with the similar situations we've seen with governments, not necessarily now with cattle headers, but with indigents who have, found themselves, unfortunately, maybe in certain areas. We've had it happen in Lagos. We've had it happen in several parts of Nigeria where they'll say, oh, because we've had too much issues concerning criminals in that area that you reside, we are going to bring it down. At that point, why wasn't that the kind of uproar that we have now when we're talking about headers vacating a particular area? A lot of people are, spinning this around and think that it is an offensive against a certain group of people of Nigeria. But this has always been the modus operandi of governments when it comes to dealing with the issue of crime. I mean, we have the same thing with bike riders or Okada riders, as we would like to call it here. As if after it gets to a point where the government feels that there's too much crime perpetrated by this group of people, the entire Okada riders are the ones who are asked to either stop plying the roads. The same thing happens when we now started having the tricycle drivers, when government felt there's too much crime rates and some issues coming up from tricycle riders. The entire tricycle riders were either asked to vacate certain parts of the road, or don't ply here, don't ply that, don't be here, don't go there, or you can only do this from this hour to this hours. So it is. I want people to understand that it might not be too strange when we see it being applied to cattle herders, but when it comes to dealing with the issue of crime and roping everybody that perhaps you feel might be connected or unconnected to the issue, how do we best deal with it? Emmanuel, I'll start with you on that.
It's a very difficult issue. It's natural to lump everybody together in a way that government cannot ordinarily separate people. If not, ordinarily will be to separate those who are criminals from those that are not. But in a place where government has been making efforts and there have been avalanche of accusations, allegations against people living in that area, and truly it will be a few individuals that is
terrorizing the area.
Good. And then what government will do eventually is that since we've not been able to separate, let us in fact relieve these people of their
everybody move away from here.
Yes.
Or stop plying the routes.
You remember
stop riding
again,
bicycles and bikes.
In parable, it says that once one finger touches oil, it will now smear others. That is it, because what are you going to do if you just cannot reach what you will use and clean it? The other four must have that same oil. Now, government is not an easy business. But we that are spectators will always think that it's very easy. Government has a lot of things, and you don't have security operatives that could police almost everywhere. And once you are going to focus on this place, then the other place you are hearing, you remember what happened when...
So we're suffering for the inefficiency of government.
Of course. And that inefficiency is born because of difficulty to streamline activities. Maybe because of the number of staff, which is not enough to go around. But sometimes government will just remove its mind and heart from whatever and say, take this drastic decision. And I want to believe that there is no other way they can do it. But in terms of this Akeredolu zone, Akeredolu so far have not aid. So far, he has not aid for Emmanuel Dukwe. Because he simply said that these people vacate from that forest reserve. And if you are thinking the forest reserve is like a ranch, by what Ashefran said, yes, I may agree. Closely like a ranch, because if things were going well, that's where they will just stay. And then, of course, we'll be doing the activities instead of encroaching in farms. However, you as a governor, you are hearing that, you see, from this forest reserve 1, or A, or B, or C, that people are coming to kill. And you may not see it. Now, also, it's very possible you had mobilized your operatives and said, put your eyes to the ground and see if you could pick these people. Nobody is seeing them. Would you just allow them until you see very clearly, and then the number of casualties keep on increasing?
So that means you agree with government officials who say, oh, we are having too many. We've heard that bike riders are aiding and abetting with kidnapping. So therefore, bike riders, you're not supposed to ply the roads anymore. You will agree with such a policy?
Annie, there's a level it will reach. Yes, I will agree.
Emmanuel, it's either a yes or no. You agree with the policy. Not a level. Yes, you agree with the policy. No, he hasn't answered for me.
You see, no, for her, I've not answered, but I've answered for Emmanuel.
That's why I'm asking you again. Because I'm the one who asked the question.
I know, and I'll answer you.
Good.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Okay, good. That's all I wanted to know.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to you, Lord Ashafran.
The moment anything is done under spontaneity, there's lack of planning. And I think the governors in Nigeria don't plan. They do things under spontaneity, and they hide under it is politics, quote and unquote. The governors are not working. They're just busy playing politics, because they are the people that should town plan. The states are under their control. And the country is a conglomeration of states. So if the governors are fixing their states, so many problems in the country would have been taken care of itself. And they have the enabling laws that allows them to doing so. The federal government put the lands in the states in the care of the governors. That was all they needed. Whatever thing they are looking for is balderdash. They don't know what they are doing. I don't understand any country in the world that don't have on their roads where bicycles pass, motorcycles pass, tricycles pass, the foot walkers pass, the rail lines pass, and the automobiles pass. That's how they control roads around the world. And there are so many bicycles on the roads of the developed countries than even cars. So, I get the security report as a governor that people are terrorizing ladies' bags on bikes. I sack the bike people. And some of the bike people are criminals, right? They relocated to some places. So I have escalated the criminality by that action. I didn't stop it though. So if they were only operating in Rubokoro,
they've moved to Transamadi.
They have moved to Transamadi, they have moved to other places.
They've exported the goods.
They have exported it, okay. I heard that there are some herdsmen in some forests. Nobody planted anything there. And their cattle are eating grass, which is what took them to the forest. I sacked them from that forest because there's a form of criminality taking place in that forest. And they now moved with their cattle to the farms. I have only increased the problem. And on and on. So what exactly are we doing here? What we are doing here, why we are doing all this is because the state governors are not building houses for the people, so there's no town planning. They're not providing water for the people because there's no town planning. The transportation system is not working because there's no town planning. And they are collecting monies which they can use to invest in other things and diversify their economy and raise funds to develop their states and serve their people. They are not doing so. Whatever money they are getting, they are doing governors' jamborees, they are forming associations, they are forming parties, they are forming this, they are wasting precious time and resources that should be channeled into advancing civilization. So, the very essence of such ad hoc policies is because they have no plans. All what they do is to think of how to collect allocation and retire funds. That is all. If I'm lucky enough as a governor and I have a forest reserve that I didn't even develop. I didn't even develop the forest reserve in the first instance. And a group of people that is adding to the economy of my state are in that forest reserve. I will open a police station inside that forest reserve. I will do access roads to that forest reserve. I will send water to that forest reserve because they have given me an opportunity to make funds for my state in that forest reserve and grow my economy. You are not doing so. You are saying...
But your forest is not by reserve now if defeated the aim for the reservation of the forest. If you have moved township there.
Every forest reserve in the world, including the best existing now on earth, has been conquered by civilization.
No, that's not true.
It's true.
The Amazon
even the forest, the Amazon, part of the Amazon is retreating every year.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's retreating every year.
Conquered. It hasn't been conquered.
No, but if it's retreating every year, what has happened?
And then they're acting on that. They have also put policies to ensure that it doesn't retreat further than it is.
So
if you are going to sit down there and you say you encourage it, what you're doing here is encouraging it.
What sort
you're
of...
saying, okay, go there, remain there. There's water now coming to you. There's schools, there's hospital, then where is your reserve?
What sort of fantasization are we doing in Nigeria really? What is our priorities?
No, as much the priority.
A place like...
You think the forest is not a priority? Hold on. The forest is not a priority.
There are forests, and as people grow, as population grows, as the demand for civilization increases, forests retreat.
Grazing routes.
Forest retreat is normal now.
No.
You have 50 people. You have 50 people in a community, and the community have a very thick forest, and they very good for environment. As the population of that community grows,
that is why
the forest retreats.
That's why there are certain places called reserves. That means as much as we want to populate and grow, we must reserve this ecosystem. There is a balance between the ecosystem and human beings.
Can I ask a question here?
And if we're going to disregard it and say, no, it's not important, we'll get to a point where we'll have realized our mistakes. We're saying, let's slow that process.
Can I ask a question here?
I don't know if you can.
Okay. Does a ranch look like a reserve?
No.
It does not.
No.
It doesn't look like a reserve.
Nope, a ranch doesn't look like a reserve.
Where animals graze, do they water the plants permanently to make sure that the grazing stays permanently?
No.
Do they do that?
The ranches I know, they actually bring in hay from somewhere else. Another person is cultivating, and they bring to them. They bring.
Are there
ranches? Cattle food.
Are there ranches where grasses are
yeah,
grown?
Grasses, so it doesn't look like a forest. It's
Nah,
like a lawn.
Okay. And some of them are so beautiful. Farmers' problem, and this problem did not start today. It's decades old, but it have gotten to a point because the headers have grown in number, the heads have grown in number, the farms have grown in number, and the farmers. So the problem will only get worse with time. What do we do? Is it out of place if we can convert some of our forest reserves in order to solve a growing domestic security problem?
There's so many places that are not reserves. Many places that are not reserves. Why are we not using that place?
No, then I will be very happy if Akeredolu says, live here and go there. I will be very comfortable.
All right, then. So, but what do you think about the issue when you have criminals in an area, and that place is a notorious place for criminals hideout, and then you said, well, because I've had too many stories from criminals and criminality here, we're bringing it down. We're going to remove, like Morocco, we're going there now. All of you here who have been living waterfront happened. So what's your position on that?
Very simple. Two things. If where criminals fester is a shanty, and government has a policy of wanting to modernize that area and also thereby deal with the criminal situation there, it's okay by me. But
where did they go to?
But
I
say but.
Okay.
If you are developing such a place, there must be around that development accommodation for low-income earners to take care of these other people. If you throw them to the streets, they must find somewhere to live.
Exactly.
And if they are criminals, you are only escalating the criminality within the environment.
So while you're destroying that place, where did they go to interim? Because, I mean, you brought it down. Where did they go to?
No, you must start. I want to pull down a market. Because that market is a shanty. I must first and foremost go and build smaller markets. If I want to build a bigger market here, that is the planning.
Okay.
I must have had like 2 or 3 locations I want to build smaller markets. I start there and give these people notice. In 1 year, 2 years time, you will live here because we are building you new smaller markets there that you can be able to pay.
Okay.
And when I have completed that market, I relocate them. And then I bulldoze this one and do a skyscraper if I want to.
That sounds like a solution. All right, let me get to you now, Dr. Obidima. You were not in here, but I spoke about the fact that it's almost similar what we saw happening now with Akeredolu and his eviction notice to the cattle herders in the forest reserves in Ondo, to governors in all parts of Nigeria who will also use this sledgehammer on criminals and the actions of criminality they feel is domiciled in a certain area, and say, well, everybody here has to suffer for that. So they might come to a place and say, this area or this shanty is filled with criminals, we're bringing it down with no options for anything else. The same thing too with perhaps transporters, maybe bike riders. They say, oh, you're known to be aiding and abetting with kidnapping and armed robbery, no more bike riders. So what's your position with that?
Well,
is that how to solve the problem?
Is that before government take action, and let me use the back riders. When it started, government did not maybe shut down such business that should not exist, and that business will be going on in a particular location. It's been going on maybe around the state without any kind of hindrance. But at a point,
I don't know what you're talking about. Too.
Huh?
You say it's not shut down completely.
no.
What do you mean
I
by
said
that?
they did not prevent such business from taking off.
No,
or
hold on.
existing.
I am flying.
in
I'll
that
give
state.
you an example. I'm flying Obikwere to airport
Yes.
and to SAS.
Mm.
And the next day they tell me, no, you can't do that anymore. You're not going to allow to fly that route. So
Okay.
what has happened? My business has been taken from me.
Is it because of criminal activities? Or
That's what
because
I'm saying. That there's information that
Yes.
a
Now,
lot of people who are doing this thing here are
Exactly.
involved in criminal activities.
Exa-
So we are no more going to allow you to do that on this road.
now
There's
they
no
have-
difference with what
they-
Accredited
they
has
ha-
done.
Excuse me, they have union. Let's use the bike people. They have union. And maybe the attention of the union have been drawn to those activities that people report.
Business.
Business.
And maybe just 10 of them are the ones who are the criminals.
Well, you may
or
not
50.
know. You may not know
Or
what
50.
the number.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know the
You may not know.
480.
You may not know whether
Why
it is
is it
10
not
or
government?
20.
Is it not government's duty to know how many people are going to be affected by this sledgehammer action?
Excuse
or
me
not?
now. Excuse me. I'm coming down. That's why I said maybe walking through their union and nothing seems to have improved. So also these headers, they have a union called Meeti Allah. And they are sure that government may have engaged Meeti Allah. And it appears that the situation is not improving. And two, the level of criminality in this forest continue to increase. People are being raped, killed, maimed, and maybe farmland destroyed, crop destroyed. It has been going on and on and on. And nothing appears to have mitigated that problem. What will government do? Government will do is to use the sledgehammer.
That's what I'm saying.
You know-
But there are too many people who are innocent who have suffered from that. The same people who
if
are
within
expecting
them-
the same people. No, hold on now. The same people. I didn't elect myself to be governor or elect
Yes.
myself to be local government chairman. So if there is crime and criminality in your area, you are the one who said you can deal with it. You are the one who said you know the solution. The solution was not that you come and meet me, an innocent person, and make me pay for it.
So
how have you solved the problem?
What I'm trying to say is
You
this.
haven't solved the problem.
Yeah, but you see, the issue of solving problem, there are different ways of solving problem. There
By
are different
hurting
ways.
me, you can hurt me.
No,
Then you
no,
solve the
it's
problem.
not hurt.
Or you
Listen,
just
they
displace
have-
it. Or you
if-
displace it. You displace the problem.
If within
Let me
them,
remove it from place A. It can go to place B.
if,
Let it continue
if
there.
within them, they cannot sort out the criminal elements among them. So it means that
That's what we're saying here now. If within them there's failure to do that, what is the role of government?
Yeah.
Government that says I'm here to tackle crime and criminality. You said okay, your group will find who are the criminals, and the group has been unable to do that. Where is the role of government to ensure that okay, we do find who these criminals are, or we have another strategy to ensure that we can nip the people who are doing this?
And I want to ask,
If government says we can't find,
if in a
so
house,
all of you go.
if in a place somebody committed crime and there's an information that criminal is hiding in a particular, and maybe the security operatives don't know the very person, can't identify the person, and they cannot condo of that area and make either the landlord or whoever that owns some property want you to release to us the criminal that came into this place.
How would they know? The landlord. How would the landlord know?
How would landlord
How would
know?
they know? Is it their job to be checking who comes in and out?
No, excuse me. The point is that a landlord should know somebody that had come into his this thing.
To rent, yes.
Yes.
Maybe, yes, I give you the papers I have.
No.
I give you the documentation I
There's an
have.
information. There's an information that somebody ran into a building. And the people don't know the person who ran, and they come there and see the owner of the building. Somebody came into the building. Can you not want to get
now
that
you
person?
come inside, check.
No.
I don't know.
No, it's
I
my
don't know.
duty. It's my duty
No,
as the owner of that
I
house.
do not-
It's
I can
to
be-
bring somebody that is strange.
I do not know.
I didn't
hold
see the
on.
person run
I
in.
have,
No,
there's a
I say-
possibility.
I'm talking about-
Hold on. There is a possibility that I might not have seen who ran
Who
into
ran
my
in?
building.
Yeah.
And if you come in and say there's information somebody ran in here, I will give you expressway.
Go and check.
Ransack the house. Find who the person
No.
is.
I should check my house.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, your own
If I
system-
check and I don't
your
see,
own methodology
if I
could be
check-
different from
The
mine.
question I'm asking, if I check and I don't see, what happens? I'm apprehended.
What if the person is
There's
armed?
no house somebody can
And he
run
hosts
into
me.
my building.
What if the
into
person
my
is
house?
armed and he hosts me going to
No,
drag him
no.
out?
Hold on. It's the same courts we operate here. who will tell you that we can't send this person to prison because we have not been convinced beyond reasonable doubt.
Yes.
That it is better that we free a guilty person than one innocent person. It's the same courts that we operate here. The same courts. Yet unilaterally, governments will decide that because we believe there is some of you here who are guilty.
You suck everybody.
We believe all of you must suffer for it. And I'm saying that this is not the peculiarity with Akeredolu. It's the same thing we see with all the governments, up and down. They do the same thing too.
No, this is a very particular or peculiar case. This issue of herdsmen occupying the forests in the southwest and other part of the and the community people are also being restless and also pushing this thing towards the government to protect them, and nobody is protecting them. And maybe he may have also engaged the Mieti Allah people, the breeders or the herders, and nothing seems to improve. Instead, the situation is worsening. And even the government at the center also not doing anything to checkmate those activities. What will a governor do? The governor does want not to protect lives and property. What will he do? Is to take steps to ensure that he lives to the oath of his office as the governor of the state.
I got your position. Emmanuel.
You see, Annie, negative publicity attracts attention more than positive ones. If, for instance, a house is built around this neighborhood, nobody will hear about it. It's the normal thing. But any time, maybe government sent one bulldozer, bulldoze this house, it will fill everywhere. Government taking all this kind of unilateral action, which may seem unilateral to us, they would have done homework for a long time. And if nothing is changing in that wise, you see them go there and sack everybody, bulldoze the place. For
And
instance,
that's okay.
No, I'm coming. I'll give my verdict in the end. For instance, you see this Okada Union and all the rest of them that they will suddenly one day make pronouncement will ban you. They would have been behind the scenes.
Doing all they can.
Good.
They can't find it.
To say, man, we are hearing this about even with their union. And then nothing is happening. And they keep on hearing. One day you just see them they come and say, please, all of you, off the road.
Okay, all right.
And for Emmanuel Ndukwe,
that's okay.
Yes.
So why are we upset with what happened at OD?
Now I'm coming.
OD, when the soldiers said, who did this? So nobody came out. And they decided, okay, we're clearing here.
No.
Why are we offended?
Good.
When they went to, where is this place in River State, to where soldiers went to recently and said, people also carried out certain attacks and did waiting. And then, where?
Oyibo.
I think, is it Oyibo? No,
it's not Oyibo. It's Calabari area.
The Calabari area. They also went there and did so. Is it not the same thing we're saying? So at one point, do we think this is the right thing to do? And at what point are we saying, no, this one has passed the level?
Good. There's a difference between killing people and then stopping people from doing certain things that you had given time and then talk in silence.
Okay, so we mean killing immediately. Because if this is my livelihood and you take it away from me, evidently I'm going to die.
No. You see,
so they're killing immediately.
Why I'm giving this example is because you mentioned this Calabar area. They say they killed a lot of people and then push down houses and all that. It's not every way they do all those bunkering. And the way they went in and then bulldozed their houses, according to the stories we heard, is not exactly where they do it in the field, the bunkering. So why would you come to where people are
because
living?
the information told them that's the benefit. Well, those benefiting from it, that's where they are.
So for me, I think there's a difference between killing of people and stopping acts of criminality. Now,
you haven't stopped it. You have just asked the people to leave.
I'm coming.
You didn't stop it.
It's
not stopping. If you said, okay, stop, assuming that the bike riders are criminals, all of them, and you said, okay, don't ply.
All of them cannot be.
That's assuming. That's what I'm assuming. They're all criminals. So you're saying stop plying point A to point B. I've stopped it. You won't do this road anymore. They carry their bikes with their criminality and they go to point C and D. Did you just shift where the crime goes to?
Who even says that motor is not used for crime?
No, let's even look at the one we're looking at.
No, Annie, you see, what I said, government have negotiated and they continue. This situation is the same. You tell me you will not relieve the people that are occupying wherever. No. I will gladly do so because the people seem not to be changing.
Yeah, I think.
The OD you mentioned.
Let me just
is quite
mention what
different.
I don't think it's different.
It
Because
is,
if you
for me.
take someone's livelihood away from them,
Can
you're
I-
just giving
can
them
I add
time
one
to go
small
and
thing
die. If you're not dying in the next 3 months, they'll die in the next 6 months. So OD, you just kill them right now. It's the same death for me. I would think if there was a problem, that you think outside the box. If you've tried everything within the box, which is you have been negotiating, you've been speaking, then you do something outside the box. If I had bike drivers who I felt were part of the people who were criminals here, I will introduce maybe life jackets or something that makes them stand out, so we can see who's flying what, who is who. We'll have numbers, we'll have identifications, we'll have checkpoints at certain points in place. I'll encourage all of that to be done. It's not that we've not done all of that. And the next one I asked you, bike drivers, you can't fly here. If I felt that an entire community was breeding criminals, I'll look for a way where I can have, like he mentioned earlier, low budget housing. They might not have to even pay me immediately, but because I want to identify who stays in flat 1, I want to know who stays in flat 2. And then I have proper security. We're able to check and then detail these people and beginning to fish out who are the people who are criminals among them. But that each time what we want to do is just come down and say, oh, there's crime and criminality going on here. This entire community, we're removing you from here.
Circumstances.
Or bikes I have mentioned are the same that has similar with the ones that...
Novices. When somebody don't know,
Until you get into it.
No, or not until you get into it. I don't need to be a governor, a chairman before I'm in government. No, we're all in the system. The fact is, when are not ingenious, you are government to govern people. The fact that only that chair is only for one person at a time, the fact that you are sitting on that chair does not make you a very fantastic person. It does not mean that you know more than everybody. No, you don't.
I agree that one.
When you don't know it, you don't know it. The penchant of Nigerians who are in position of power to be destructive is in their gene. As power brokers, is in their gene. They are infinitely destructive. You seize goods from the border, you burn it with the vehicle. There are so many people who are hungry. Why not give them the food to eat? You seize contraband clothes, you set it ablaze. You seize fuel that is bunkered, you set it and the environmental damage you even cause in those burnings, you don't even calculate it. So, the penchant of those in power to be infinitely destructive and harmful to those they are supposed to govern is in their gene, and that is the foundation of bad governance. Because there is power show. You just want to show, say, na me day in charge, na me be governor, na me be chairman, na me be this. That's just all. Because there is nothing you say you gained. I know how it is for people. I know when people, we drive to Port Harcourt here, we park safely in Uniport, and we just take a bike drop, and it just takes you to where you want to go. It reduces traffic. You finish, you take a bike back, you enter your car, and you drive away. Now, there's so much traffic you cannot manage it. The bikes are off the road. You are sacking, you're making things very difficult for everybody. I say you are fighting criminality, but every day you are doing this. Banditry, cultism, gangsterism is increasing by the day. Stealing is increasing by the day. So, how do you assess? Don't you assess the product of your actions? Is there no feedback mechanism? Because if I'm doing something and it's not giving me results, then I'm not doing the right thing.
All right. We pretty much had to run this through from opinion poll all the way till this point. It happened yesterday. I think I won't touch this topic again ever.
Oh my God.
It displaces everything else. But this is the point. Nigeria can be really crazy, and I think that the reason why it is so is because we haven't managed things from get go. So we're getting to the point where it seems the only thing we can do now to these issues just trim around the edges when we're not uprooting the main problem. Hopefully we'll have governments in place who understand what it means to govern a people and truly govern a people and think through when they declare. But in this case here, I just want to quickly say this. I am not for. I think from people who will have listened in yesterday will understand that I don't understand why people would decide a forest is where they want to stay. I still can't understand that. I understand it's a nomadic lifestyle, but I mean, it's about time they got with the program already. Life cannot continue to live in that manner like we existed in that period then. So if there is a need to have some nomadic lifestyle, well, once you come into a community, it's either that you identify yourself or you're in a place where you can't be identified. One, because for your own protection, you need that for yourself. You don't want to be identified as a criminal. And you also want to make sure that you're able to do your business and do it purely. By the time you come, because nobody knows who is in that forest. It's not as if there is a gatekeeper there that when you come in, you say, I've already told him that my name is Usman Danfodio, and that's why I'm here. Nobody knows who you are. So by the time we keep hearing of crime and criminality from that region, or from that side, how is it not clear to you that you are part of the reasons that this crime has continued? Because you are a cover. So I would think that if amongst themselves, Mieti Allah, I think they should be a bit more progressive than they are. So in their meetings, how are they telling themselves, how do we evolve this? This is a business our great-grandfathers passed on to us, but with the times, we're catching up with, I mean, I'm sure that during the period their great-grandfathers were doing it, they weren't called at several meetings like this to talk about crime and criminality. But almost every state is calling a Mieti Allah representative for a meeting. So I think that you go back and also sit down and ask, what do we do? So that when there's crime and criminality, we will not be on the table to discuss it. It will be other people, but not us. If there's something that we're doing that's allowing crimes and criminality to be perpetrated and we're some sort of a cover, how do we take that cover away? If you're not also coming up with that solution and expect that, look, this is a lifestyle that you all have to deal with, it's unacceptable. So for just once, I just want to make that clear so that nobody goes that, well, that's why she's there supporting. I'm not supportive. But I'm also saying that we need a government too that understands the peculiarity of the issues and is able to give answers to the solution. We've got to
just a minute.
No, before I'll let you do that. Okay. I just want to announce this. Please do send us your thoughts to 07019339962, 07019339962. And what we're particularly looking at is the approach to our problems, okay? Yesterday was more on constitution and constitutionality, and this time is government's approach to peculiar problems that we have here. And then let's get to your thoughts. 07019339962, text messages and WhatsApp. All right, before I call the phone lines, let me get to
in environmental theory. You know, we see this thing how it panned out in the past when there is maybe rain. This way, that this kind of movement towards getting pasture, then at a point they go back. We were seeing it in those days. There are times we don't see even these headers. You know, it's like they have gone back to the north. Maybe at the time the place is greener,
they come back.
They come back.
They're following the rain pattern.
Exactly. But now, it's no more that environment is driving them now. It is the sense of occupation to come and colonize that, and they will not even stay in the forest.
It can't be that now. It can't be that they're all here because of a sense of colonization now.
Yeah, yes, because now it's no more. We don't see them go back again. So does it mean that the place?
Why do you want them to go back?
Yeah, it doesn't mean that rain don't fall.
My question is, why do you want them to go back? If they say they don't want to go back and they want to live in River State, they don't have a right to live in River State?
Go and rent a house.
No, now they can't bring their cattle and come and rent a house inside Obiako.
You see, you want to get they don't even want to buy land and start a place. They don't want to do that.
That will be a solution. But then not that they can't come to Obiako their cattle.
Must they be in all the states of the federation?
It doesn't matter. Don't you have?
It matters a lot.
Equated people all over the state of
No.
Yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do. Don't equate people like every part. It doesn't matter.
Who says so?
Let me be the only
Who says so?
I don't want to be the only one. There is an Ikwere man in every part of Nigeria.
It's not true. I know how
But you see, the problem is that there was a time this kind of governor, Ganduje told them that all of them should come together. And they didn't go.
Why would they go
It's
there
not
now?
possible now.
It's just like
So the whole states of Fulani should go to one place and enter where?
Has all Igbos gone back?
No, it's a liver.
It's a forest, not there.
Let's take calls, please. So you can call in 0810-951-0951 or 0817-000951. Those are the numbers for you to dial to get through to us here. Don't forget they can also chat with us. I'm sorry, send us your messages on Facebook, not chat with us. Facebook. Our Facebook page is Today 95.1 FM, and then on Twitter we are at Today FM 951 at Today FM 951. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. I'm my big brother's institution.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is B.O.B. I greet you all. Like my brother said, Nigeria, it's not good to leave your, there's some place that can be called a stronghold. The farm or the forest is our stronghold. Why will a stranger occupy some people's stronghold? I'm telling you, they must not be everywhere. Like you said that day, cow, if you like cocoa, cow are not meant to patrol on.
Hello. All right, I guess it's gone. Let's just take another call. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
AB calling from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead.
And I want to actually contribute on the topic you just raised, on how government should approach issues, especially the one that is at hand. Well, I believe that government can actually approach issues in two ways, either in the negative side or in the positive side, depending on the one they choose. Because for me, government should show signs that indeed they are for the people and also ensure that their policies also will benefit the people. But when the people begin to read the body language of the government in the negative side, what do you think will happen? The people will make use of it and perpetrate evil. And that's what I think is actually going on in the community alliance activities. They are reading the body language of the government, which giving them the cover to perpetrate evil without being them arrested or being gone against the activities. That's what I think. Government are giving them cover. Leave the forest. For your activities is actually putting us in a mess. If you actually want to abide by our law, register yourself to the authority, those who can segment you and your activity. You said no. You want to remain in the forest. It means that you have a hidden agenda for insisting on your.
Well, not necessarily giving their lifestyle is not necessarily. So are you saying that people who are applying the bikes that have been asked to leave their job is because they have a hidden agenda that they continue to do that? Or are you saying that people that live in shanties where you have crime and criminality perpetrated are doing that because, well, they want to live there? They could have left that place when they knew there was too much crime. Why did they move away from there?
And when your activities are actually projecting danger to people's lives and property, you don't have any option than to abide by the law. If you refuse it means that you have a hidden agenda. That's just
all right, we got your thought. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. All right, do call back 0810-951-0951 or 0817-000951. Hello.
Annie?
Yes, please. Good morning. What's your name?
It's Mascot.
Mascot, good to have you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Annie, in as much as I align with the postulation of Lord Asafran on the sensitivity of government towards the plight of the common masses of Nigeria, I want to support the governor of Ondo State 101%. And there is a situation in life when something reaches to its zenith, climax, or apogee. The menace of headers in Nigeria has gotten to its apogee. And we have a government that is still living in the paradise of 1960, talking about grazing routes, without taking into consideration of the explosion of population of this our great country, Nigeria. Today, you have the menace, the atrocity committed by these headers. I don't want to attach Fulani headers, but headers across the landscape of Nigeria. And there is no coordinated or conscious attempt by government to arrest this impending doom that will befall our country if not well tackled. So for the governor of Ondo State, he's of APC. I like people who take action for the benefit of the people without partisanship or affiliation to any political party. So I commend him so much that when you are in a place, there is a place that provides safe haven for a situation to thrive. Forest. Remember the chairman of Ukraine local government sometime when there was criminality, kidnapping and all the rest of them, ordered that some forests in Ukraine land be cleared. That is why you see Zambia up to today, the rich people are there. Why not clear the whole of Zambia, even if it has spread along the sisters of the northern region, and site an industry or anything there, to change these people away. So forest is not an inhabitant. So I support the governor.
All right, then. We got your thoughts. We got your thoughts there. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. 08109510951 or 08170000951. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Hello. All right, to call back if you can. I guess I'll just read a few text messages here. This is, good morning, Annie. For me, Akeredolu is in order. The action he has taken is the only way out. Please, Annie, ask Ogaima why he's finding it difficult to invite certain people. I don't know why. Ehix Precious. I don't know. Hello, Annie and crew. The cow-like animal you guys were thinking of, which Mr. Ima called ehi is in Igbo, is called an ox. Their horns aren't as long as the cow. All right. Let me get here. Good morning, Madam Annie. I don't like Nigerian news because I thought they're always lying until a friend introduced me to Today FM. Mostly when Emi Fiahaga was in studio. I got to learn the bitter truth through his position. On this note, I'll say, Governor, what is that? What has that got to do with anything? Amaka from Owerri North. What has that got to do with Emi Fiahaga? It's hashtag Emi Fiahaga. What has Emi Fiahaga? He says that he got to know the truth through Emi Fiahaga. I don't know how that has anything to do with what we're talking about today. Well, you said, on this note, I would say that Governor Akeredolu shall govern according to the Constitution of Nigeria. Ondo State is in Nigeria. Thank you. On behalf of myself and friends, I hereby say hashtag bring back Emi Fiahaga. I'm Amaka from Owerri, North Imo State. I don't understand what you mean by that. I think Emi Fiahaga is a usual. I don't know. When last was he here? He usually is here. I don't know. Moses says, on the eviction of herdsmen from the forest reserve, Annie and Asha Frank have talked intelligently. There is no solution in the analysis of Ogaima and Obidima. You can't solve a problem by punishing the innocent and posting the guilty or criminals to a new ground. The truth is that the governors don't work hard to protect us but steal from us. He says, why not use Amotekun? Or is it that they're so hyped, Amotekun is no more able to offer them protection? The governor is not ready or does not know how to solve the problem. And good morning, Annie. It is annoying for anybody to advocate that herdsmen be given the right to move in and occupy forest reserves belonging to Nigerian communities for their private business. It's also sad to imagine that it's government's responsibility to provide them a place to do their business. Are you telling me that as a timber dealer or firewood seller, I have a right to enter any forest and cut down trees for sale? Is it the responsibility of government to provide for me a forest to fetch wood from? No, it's not the responsibility of government to provide a forest for you to fetch your wood from. But if you go to places where they don't allow you to cut the forest, you'll be paying for that. And there's certain wood that you can't even go and access unless you have government permission. And I also understand that in selling your timber, they'll also offer you the markets where you can do that. So there is a lot of government interplay with that business that you're doing. I think the point of the cattle headers and why this has come to the crux is because of their lifestyle. And that is the issue that we're talking about. They're not like you and I, perhaps, who will go to a place of work and retire home. Their place of work and everything else seems to exist in one. And you went on to say, yes, the herders have a right to stay anywhere in Nigeria, but that right ends where the right of others begin. They cannot and must not be allowed to occupy any people's forests for free against the wishes of the owners. This is from UK. Annie and the guests, good morning. The north has vast, sparsely uninhabited lands and Sambisa forests belonging to Nigeria too, isn't it? Why can the APC government not use these lands for ruga and herders grazing and pasture instead of disturbing farmers and embarrassing the nation with cows roaming our streets? Why? Maybe nomadic cattle rearing is universal, but in other countries, the menace created by these Nigerian herdsmen do not apply. It is better and more healthy for the cows to be reared in ranches. Nigerian cows are so thin and malnourished, no proper beef from them. I'm sure you're still eating meat. And can we not change our outdated policies? I'm so in for changing outdated policies. And I'm saying if we're not changing outdated policies, we cannot be punishing innocent people alongside people we think who are criminals. The Sambisa forest occupation will remain, will keep the Boko Haram miscreants at bay and make Nigeria use this vast land judiciously for animal husbandry and allied industries. And eventually other industries will develop therein. This done will stop the unnecessary wasting of our gallant soldiers and Niger Delta resources on the Boko Haram war. This is sent in by EB. Good day, Annie and Co. Some things Hausa and Fulanis are doing here, no other tribe can do it in the north. If not, they will kill you. There you go, Wasil. There you go. So, so if Annie wants her people to remain here, let her tell them to start behaving like normal human beings. My people will still behave better than you. They wouldn't write the kind of statements that you're actually writing. I'll tell you a little thing about my people. My people would not behave the way you're doing. They don't. So if you're actually thinking of normal human beings, you must start emulating my kind of people. And perhaps think of you yourself becoming a better person. Wasil from Rumo Okparali, you sent that in. I hope you become a better human being by that. Hello, Annie. Please, I have a question. Why is it that when issues concerning cattle, herdsmen, and Fulanis are mentioned, the presidency speaks up and acts immediately? But the same thing the president acted for Kuka. The same thing the presidency acted with the youths who said Igbos should leave the north. So I don't know about the immediate thing. Maybe 24 hours might be too early for you. Maybe you should have waited a week before they responded. I don't know. But I think that it's the same way they have responded to other issues where they felt that you can't ask citizens to leave a place because of the Constitution. Anyways, you went on to say, please, who is this presidency? I get confused each time. Well, I mean, if the person who put out the statement was Garba Shehu, you will know who he was speaking for. I get confused each time I hear the word. We really do not have many divides in this country. And honestly, I get to question the idea of one Nigeria because we're too complex as a people and our differences increasingly shows on a daily basis and pulls us further apart. One day the center will no longer hold and things will fall apart. Annie, please, can you dedicate one day on your show where you will only discuss positive topics in our Nigerian space because it's always one depressing news or the other, and after which I always take a shot of whiskey to reboot my brain. But yet I can't stay away from this station. I love you guys so much, so I'm stuck with you and my whiskey. This is from Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you know what? When you were going on with that, I was thinking maybe one day we would look at all the positives and it's not going to be something negative so that we don't always drive a negative situation in Nigeria. Because the truth is that we're not the ones driving it. We're just picking up what we see from the headlines. But maybe one day, Emmanuel and I will say, today we'll find something really, really nice and then we'll dedicate that day and every other day to doing that.
At least avoid
Emmanuel drinking whiskey. We don't want you drinking too much whiskey now. You should drink water, right? All right, Annie, good morning. And to everyone in the studio. Do you remember the 10 farmers killed and their corpses seized and taken to these herders' camp in Edo? Their families went to their camp in the forest with security personnel to retrieve their corpses, but the herders threatened them with guns and charms. Were these killers apprehended and prosecuted? No, of course, because they are untouchable. Since the presidency is there to protect herders, Governor Akeredolu should be allowed to protect his people the best way he can. Mrs. Essien, you sent that in from Port Harcourt. You know, there's a time when we spoke about how much the governors can involve themselves in situations that concerns their people. When this happened in Delta, in Edo State, I want to believe that their leaders, in hierarchy there. There's the local government chairman who will be immediately affected by this, who will also have drawn that attention of the governor to that, and that if they had put their feet down to get into who the perpetrators were, I don't think there's any Dane gun or guns or charms in that forest that will have stopped them from getting the perpetrators. But you see, as the issues usually are, governors will not want to deal with these issues, maybe because it's far-flung, it has nothing to do with the seat of governance, or it's not coming from opposition.
Well,
because I mean, each time it happens, you hear, oh, it's because they're protected. It's not as if when they were trying to get them, then something came from, or a message came all the way from Abuja and said, don't enter there, don't do that.
You remember, I think, is it the one traditional ruler from Southwest also said that soldiers, yes, help headers.
The headers, yes.
You see, the problem is that there's a way the behavior will, just like Asha Frank was saying, you don't need to tell him, don't come to my house again.
But you know, it's the same thing too. We mentioned about soldiers when they said that. I said the way we see soldiers these days, they're the same ones who help the bunkers here. It's the same soldiers we see who help kidnappers.
Anyway, soldiers help the illegality is not the right thing. It's not anywhere at all.
The way we make it look as if the soldiers helped headers, as if there was an express order. Go and help headers in Edo State.
No authority gives such instruction. It's just because of the secrecy of individual soldiers.
All right, that Wanyoma Annie, Biko, you people should discuss something that will be beneficial to our everyday lives, not to discuss the governor's personal opinion. We're listening to this your program every day. I beg, help us, Wanyoma. You no longer bring our real talk. What did happen? Author Jacob, A.K. America. Like I said, this is the second day running where this topic stopped my our real talk. That would never happen again. I can assure you of that. This year's Kende Alamu says Fulani live in the forest. That is the way of their lives. Nobody can change it. Only thing that government to do is to send security to guide them, not to do evils. Thanks, Kende. That would be too much now to say, oh, go, soldiers go and the other issues that soldiers need to
number
do.
Of police.
The other things that soldiers need to do, they will leave it and just be following cattle headers.
Yeah.
Who are the owners of this cattle? The real owner should take care of their cattle and put it in a place, rent or buy land. That's how everybody does business in all parts of Nigeria. I think that's the people government need to hold accountable. Papi, you send that in. Good morning, Annie and Mike. Realistic here. The federal government has done nothing. I agree with Stanley because from what Garibashe said, they have been watching what's going on in Ondo State. So, I mean, that means so we have been hearing or we have been abreast with the issues of criminality going on and these issues. So at what point did the federal government say, okay, because of that, let's have a meeting with Akeredolu and see what we can do to arrest the situation. I mean, it got to a point where the governor decides, okay, this is the action I want to take. Then suddenly you say, we have been following the discussions. It's not discussions, they said that. They said they'll be following the trends in Ondo State. I think that if the federal government says they have been following, they follow because they want to prefer solutions and not just to say everybody should maintain status quo. We'll take a few phone calls and then we'll get back to text messages. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Annie.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Ahun Sikima. I'm calling from Port Harcourt. Annie, I think I commend the doggedness of Rotimi Akeredolu because the presidency have actually swept under the carpet. They have treated with levity the issue of Fulani herdsmen. Because the Cattle Breeder Association, the Metis Allah, they came up and spoke, you understand, bluntly that they have bandits among them. But today, presidency has kept mute over the matter. So when Rotimi Akeredolu come out with such a policy, I think it's commendable. Let them stop themselves and find out bandits within themselves so that they can operate in harmony. Because if he doesn't take this measure, they will continue to kill people. That is the problem. And the president will continue to treat with levity the issue of human feeling, human being being killed. Is woman better, is cow better than human being? That is the question Nigeria must ask Mr. President. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. President, to answer what's going on in Ondo State. All right, this other one here says, of recent, the presence of herdsmen has posed great threat to the owners of the land and inhabitants of that place. Since their presence is always inimical to the people, the governor is on the right track for asking them to leave. Reward, you send that in. And your guest, Asha Frank, is very good at analyzing issues based on political patronage. I want to ask him, are his people not complaining about the activities of herdsmen? He should talk about the solution. This problem that has lingered for such a long time. The truth is that the cattle business should be run as a corporate entity with ranches, not to be grazing in people's properties. But Asha Frank can give them land to graze, and this problem will be over. AZ, you send that in from Port Harcourt. Annie, good morning. Any attempt to disconnect any individual SIM from the services is another way to add salt to the individual's injuries. Godwin, you send that in from Oyibo. Good morning, Annie. Why are we playing politics over an issue that is causing pandemonium in the lives of Nigerians? Cow is so important than a man. It's not the cow itself that is important. Remember that this is the life of people too. The people, like I said, the business of the cattle is also round the lives of these people. So if you say they can't continue with their livelihood at this point, it's not just the cows you're talking about. It's the people whose lives revolves around their cattle rearing. How do they do that? And I think every Nigerian is entitled to the opportunity to live and dwell within this entity called Nigeria. So if we're doing that, how do we also ensure that the Fulani cattle rearer is able to live the life to his fullest in the land that he chooses to? As long as we keep thinking it's a matter of cow and human lives, obviously then we're getting it wrong. He says Nigeria is finished. Promise from Elele Alimini, you send that in. Good morning, Annie. Please tell your guests in the studio to leave our herdsmen alone. Annie, things are already expensive. Do your guests want meat too expensive as well? Annie, one of your guests said the herdsmen should leave the forest and rent an apartment. If they do so and implement the cost of renting the cow, can we, the poor, eat meat again? So please, you guys should leave them alone. After Onago, they blame Buhari for cost of meat. CR7, you sent this from Eagle Island. But like I said earlier, it might just be difficult to get them to go and rent apartments in the town because, well, they have to move with their cattle. But I mean, why can't they get somewhere that is secured, the cattle is secured, and then they can get the graze or whatever it is they need for the cattle there, so the cattle doesn't have to move out. And then we can now document them. These people and these people live here. We know who stays here. So like Obidima suggested, buy land, right? There might be people who want to give them land. If they can't buy land, then they shouldn't come, right? Obidima said yes. I'm saying it because he's nodding his head. He's not answering. Obidima said yes. And and the federal government borrowed money to pay workers and even to finance budgets. How can such government become Father Christmas to share 500? Any forest reserves are not grazing for conservation and preservation. This is from Eric Chooks, engineer from Umahia. He said, okay, send that to Asha Frank. The insinuations that they are foreigners is a lie from the pit of hell. They are sacred cows from the Fulani. It's high time other people, other parts of Nigeria should know that they're becoming tenants in their own houses. It's the singular duty to defend themselves. Blossom from Rupok, who sent that. Good morning, Annie and the analysts. On the herders issue, my question is, did are the herders bought the forest? Can't the cows be trained like other animals? Why are they still discussing this despite several solutions provided by many? Please let us walk away from this stone age. I am Donald. Okay, Donald, we got your footstep. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Hello, good morning, my sister.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Professor Gita. I'm calling from United States of Harlow.
Go ahead.
Good morning, okay, man. Good morning, okay,
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me contribute. Akeredolu asked the estimate to lose Ondo State Forest. Yes, that is absolutely correct. But what I want to tell Akeredolu is that Akeredolu should remember that the time that the ex-governor of Ekiti State, Aureli Fayose, is fighting this fight, all of them, they were laughing Fayose that time. That Fayose asked the Fulani to leave Ekiti State that time. But all of them, instead of them to support Fayose, to make sure they fight this battle once and for all. But all of them are laughing Fayose. Now it is the turn of Ondo State. To me, I will appeal for the estimate that they should not leave that particular place. They should stay for that particular place. so far he fails to support his colleague during the time that they are fighting their own. It should remain like that. Thank you very much.
Ha! Ekiti. Ekiti said because you support me, then you will suffer it too now. Hello, today 95.1 FM. You are the last caller. What's your name?
Hello, Mr. Ane. Good morning. I greet your guests and I greet Obudimo. God bless.
Go ahead with what you need to say.
So I want to talk about concerning this Fulani herdsmen issue. The thing will not stop, and the killing will not stop. I'm telling you the truth, because we don't have president. Why we have a presidency? Because when is presidency? When we have other country have presidents, our own country have presidency. So how to work? It will not work.
Thank you very much. And when he was already congratulating and greeting you, I knew that this is what we'll get. Thank you very much. We've got to go. You receive it, no problem. Take it. We have to go. We've already exhausted our time. Let me start with Lord Asha Frank. You did say there's something you wanted to.
Yes, somebody sent a message. I will tell the person the security challenge briefly, very briefly. In Ekpe and the whole old Ahoda, we don't have any problem of herdsmen farmers, to the best of my knowledge. And I live on ground. I'm the spokesperson of my people, and I know that there's no report of herdsmen farmers problems. The kind of security challenge we have in that area is where some people feel they are strong men. They send us back and they send vigilantes to kill people and break their houses. And we're dealing with it at the appropriate quarters. So that's to answer that question. On the issue of today, you see, security is a very serious issue. Security is not a governmental. Government must play its role in the forefront of articulating security problems. But most of the time, the forces behind security breaches are forces that are influential in society. And that is why security matters are not only government matters. When an influencer person gets involved in breach of security, you can be rest assured that he has influence, he has reach. To you, you feel that security people are corrupt, this one is corrupt. Don't put yourself in a position where an influential person will ask you a favor. You might be surprised that you will buckle. So, it is on that basis that it is necessary when issues of security are involved, we all get involved in stopping it, in dealing with it. As all of us put our hands on the plow, we will be able to de-influence the influential people. And by so doing, we can solve security problems.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
very much.
Lord Asha Frank, Monarch, head of the media office of Ubai Teke Ekpeye, and he's a publisher and leader of the Breach Organization Global. Thank you so much. All right, let me get to you, Dr. Obitima.
The presidency should stop confusing Nigerians. The President Buhari himself said that these people are Sahelians. And why is it that they are taking it up with the governor of a state? That they are supposed to live anywhere and all those things. You know, have you taken steps this way to separate these people who say they are not from Nigeria from us? So if the governor has come to say, leave the forest because of criminal activities going on, because of illegal occupation, why must the presidency come at this time?
All right.
To begin to issue statements concerning the action and the directive of the governor of Ondo State.
Okay. All right. We got your thoughts on that, Dr. Obidima JP, journalist and international affairs analyst. Just quickly, Mano, before I get to you, I do know that when the president talked about people from outside Nigeria, he was talking concerning the terrorists, and he says that some of them were coming from the side. He wasn't talking. No, hold on. You had your say. You finished. Thank you. He was talking about the people, the terrorists that were coming, and he said some of them were being trained by Gaddafi's voice. I do know that the president himself has cattle, and so there's no way he's going to say herders. His herders are from Sahel. When he was speaking, did I get to say anything? I didn't say you were, perhaps you were in Cameroon when it happened.
No interjection.
You had your free time to say it. I let you land.
Your question.
Anyways, imagine.
Well, so far, Credelu has not breached any part of the Constitution. He merely said, leave the forest reserves of Ondo State. And of course, if anybody thinks otherwise, that it doesn't have such power, let the person approach the court.
All right, so the last person was Sil from Rumo Parali, who said that if Annie wants her people to remain here, let them start behaving like normal human beings. He sent me another text. And he says, good day, Annie. I hereby withdraw the statement I made in the first text I sent. I only said it out of anger and my experience from herdsmen, but let our government talk to herdsmen so that we can continue to live together in peace. Thanks, Wasil from Rumapali. Wasil, I'm glad that you understand that we can only continue to seek for peace, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. We've got to go. With that done, Wasil has made my day. We'll do this again tomorrow. Do join us. The time, of course, starts about 6 a.m. Entertainment Express comes up next.
Has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Health is wealth. Let's join hands together to defeat COVID-19 pandemic. Kindly adhere to the following precautionary measures to stay safe. Stay at home. Maintain social distancing. Avoid crowded places. Wash your hands frequently with soap. Avoid touching your mouth, nose, and eyes. Make sure you cough and sneeze into the bend of your elbow. Avoid handshaking, hugging, and close communication. Our safety and well-being is completely our responsibility. So let's stay safe, let's stay alive. This message is brought to you by Hantech Markets, the broker you can trust.
Hello everyone. Hantech Market, an award-winning financial technology firm with 30 years industry experience,
is pioneering taking the Forex teaching classes from offline to online using an award-winning video conferencing software. The online class will avail you the opportunity to learn how to make money in the currency market from the comfort of your home using your internet-based smartphone or laptop. You can use the seat at home as an opportunity to learn a skill set that will enable you to make money trading in the currency market. How can you take part of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Simply SMS your name and location to this number, 0805-690-5612, and our executives will call you to reserve a space for you and also guide you through on how you can be connected to one of the online classes. Once again, SMS your name and location to this number, 0805-690-5612, and our executives will call to reserve a space for you and also guide you through on how you can be connected to one of the online classes. Hantech Markets. Trust through transparency.
It's another wonderful day here in Lagos, another day to talk about business. With that, I mean online business that will keep you smiling all the way to the bank. It's all about Hantech Market. Just to remind you, Hantech Market is a leading online financial tech company with 30 years excellent customer service of connecting clients to the global financial market. But all this you'll get to find out from Hantech Market's representatives here in the studio with me. I have...
Thank you. My name is Jane Hantech Market.
Welcome. And she's not alone. I also have...
My name is Ugo from Hantech Markets.
All right, welcome Jane and Ugo from Hantech Market. Now, for those listening to this program for the first time or hearing about Hantech Market for the first time, so they don't get confused, what is Hantech Market all about?
Thank you. Hantech is a global brand. It's a global fintech company, global leading online financial technology company. We've been in existence for 30 years with over 30 years experience in the forex industry. And Hantech Markets, by global I mean we have offices in London, we have in Sydney, Tokyo, Hong Kong, Auckland, Dubai, and Mauritius. And in Nigeria, we have offices in Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Lagos. Also, in other African countries, we have offices in Ghana and Kenya, and also we are also growing into opening offices in other African countries.
Oh, wonderful stuff. So, Handtech is an online financial technology company that can help you grow financially, right? But how can this even be possible, considering the effect of COVID-19 in the world today? It has affected the way people do business, the way people even relate with each other, and all of that. You know, they call it now the new normal. So let's talk about Handtech and the new normal. What's Handtech's position?
All right. It's no longer news that physical gathering are being restricted due to the pandemic, but this does not reflect on the bills that we need to pay day to day, because you still need to pay your house rent, you still need to move around, you still need to pay for your utility bills, and source of livelihoods are being affected. And these bills will never tell you that I will not come. So this new normal has changed the direction and the perspectives of how we make money. Basically, we've been doing this for the years, and we've been telling people that the data and internet is the new oil. It's no longer the physical black gold. The new oil now is in the data. The new normal now is aligning with the internet. Because if you look at top companies in the world globally, they are internet-based company. What does that tell you? It tells you that with this COVID-19 has changed the face of we making money. Before, if you would like to purchase anything, you need to go to the traditional market to make these transactions. But now you could just stay from the comfort of your home, press your phone, and make these orders, and these goods will be on the beck and call of your house. So what we are trying to make people understand now is that with your internet-enabled device, you could access these markets. You could access the financial markets. And you accessing the financial market gives you leverage. For example, you might be a banker, you might be a fashion designer or an entrepreneur. This does not stop you from accessing and having alternative source of livelihood, because with this, you'll be able to at least know what the demand and supply of the global financial market would tell you, and you'll be able to at least know when to buy and when to sell. If you look at the rate at which internet-based products skyrocketed in the pandemic here, that would tell you that the new normal now is aligning with the internet. So, come rain, come shine, the internet is the new thing. The internet is the new bandwagon everyone needs to key into, either old or young. So what is our position? What is Handtech Market's position on this? What we are trying to tell people now is that gone are those days whereby you would see anything internet-based as it's for the youths. But now it's for everyone, because COVID-19 has shown us that the reality now is that with my data, I can survive. Without data, I can't survive. So our position on this is that we are informing people and educating people now is that don't allow that data on your phone or on your internet-enabled device to just lay fallow. What do we mean by this? Don't just use it to chit-chat or do WhatsApp Messenger or any other thing. It's good for you to network with your friends and family, but why don't you also apportion some part of this data to generate alternate source of livelihood? Because the pandemic have shown us that you can be locked up for 3 months, 4 months, and nothing to show for. But if you have your data on, and you an Handtech will teach you, because we run an online, full-time online business. We'll teach you, we'll bring the training to your phone. We are bringing the training to your iPad. We are bringing the training to your desktop computer. All what we are trying to let you know is that make available some percentage of that data for you to make a source of livelihood for yourself.
Awesome. Now, basically, you are saying the way forward when you talk about doing business or making that extra money in this COVID-19 era is online business using data from your phone. Now, how can you achieve this with Handtech?
Yeah, thank you very much. The alternative source of income that we are referring to is internet-based generating income. Like I said, Handtech is an online forex brokerage firm. By online, I mean clients use their phone or laptop to trade the currency market, to buy or sell US shares, and then make money as a result. Now, Handtech our way of actually impacting the economy in this recession period caused by COVID is the fact that we train clients on how to trade. And this training, because of the restriction in gathering, we've developed online classes which we hold 4 times every day. These classes hold in the morning, also hold in the afternoon and evening. So clients and individuals that are interested, they have the flexibility to choose any particular time that is suitable for them to attend. And these classes are being anchored by experts, people with 20 years, 15 years experience in the market, people that are making consistent profit. Now, we want to teach and show people how to actually generate income using their phone. It's very simple, how to just click buy or click sell, and you make money in the comfort of your home.
Oh, okay. Online classes, you say. We've heard of online classes here and there, but what makes Handtech Markets online classes unique? Let's talk about the benefits of Handtech Markets online classes.
All right. First of all, let me elaborate on what my colleague just said. First, these classes are just 4 in a day. Let's do that little mathematics. We have 5 working days, and this class runs 4 times in 5 days. That gives you 20 classes. And these classes is categorized into, we have the basic, we have the advanced, we have the intermediary, then we have the mentorship class. What do I mean by this? Even though you've not done anything that has to do with online business, this is the way in, because at the basic class, we'll teach you the rudiments and the fundamentals of online business, of online trading. Also at the intermediary, we would also show you what is behind the inflow of what causes the rise of the US dollar most times. Because remember, after the World War at 1945, the US dollar was used as the world benchmark currency. So you will be able to know the economics behind international trade. This is the essence of this class. So that's one of the benefits. The online classes will show you more things, the international economics. That's one. 2, flexibility. That means even though you are working from home and you are doing your conventional 9 to 5 from home, you could also just apportion a tab from your laptop or from your phone to attend this class. And this class are being handled by seasoned professionals. Flexibility, that's one. Then 2, you don't need to come to our office. That means geographically is also flexible. Then also reduction in cost. That same data that you bought, let's say for example, you bought 1 gig for 1,000 naira. You could also use that same data to acquire knowledge. Remember, it's only when you have more knowledge, that is when you'll be able to increase your revenue base. If you don't have any knowledge, revenue base is assured to be reduced. So that tells you that with little data, you can acquire a knowledge and a skill that would enhance your portfolio. Then also, you have access to various expertise in the sense that we have trainers that are fundamentally drilled in forex trading. We have others that are technically drilled in forex trading, while we have some that are sentimentally drilled in forex trading. So you have access to various type of trainings that will suit your personality. Then also, you are learning from the comfort of your home. That means there is no need for you to sit uptight. You can sleep on your bed and learn. So flexibility. Also, you have opportunity to network with people from other parts of the world, because remember at the beginning of this program we told you that we are an international based company. We have our presence in Europe, we have our presence in Asia, we have our presence in Africa, we have our presence in South America, and this tells you that you will be able to meet different people from other parts of the world. So networking opportunities is also one of the benefits of you joining the Handtech Market online class.
Well, this is pretty good. From your home using your phone, desktop, or laptop, you can learn how to trade and make that extra income. So how can someone sign up for these online classes?
Thank you. In order to join our online classes, kindly send your name, location to 0805 690 5612. I repeat, send your name, location to 0805 690 5612. Our website is www.hmarkets.com. I repeat, www.hmarkets.com. On Instagram, we are Handtech_Africa. I repeat, Instagram, Handtech_Africa. Our Twitter handle is @Handtech_Africa. Our address in Lagos is number 94 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Ekron House, 3rd floor. Number 94 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Ekron House, 3rd floor, beside Old Alade Market.
I would like to tell anyone that is doubting it, that COVID-19 have shown everybody that there's a reality in online business. So take advantage of the 30 years experience that Antec has. We've been in this business, and we have living testimonies and testimonials that will prove to you that online business is what you can do to make alternative source of livelihood in this time like this.
All right then, so take advantage of this golden opportunity. Kindly send name to 0805 690 5612. That is 0805 690 5612. Good luck and have a wonderful day.
Don't define the day, kiss to financial freedom, so I take now the gateway, answer to your prayer, so everybody that know say now and take market. Lawyers and bankers know and take market. Country the forest market and take market. Pilot engineers and take market. Everybody wanna be free, free from empty wallet, oh, free from empty pocket, oh. Yeah. Only one way, only one way, only one way. I take not the way. Trade for us like a pro. We go guide you as you go.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Okay, all right. All you need to know about this one is that
95.1 FM? Such a unique dial.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
Feel good. I ain't gonna lie.
Day 95.1 FM. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered on air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today 95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News.
Good afternoon, this is the World News on a Premium Talk Radio Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. I am Wisdom Obina. In the headlines, Ondo State Government insists herdsmen must leave forest reserves in 7 days despite opposition from presidential aide Garba Shehu. INEC considers making national identification number compulsory for voters' registration. Rivers State Government directs civil servants from level 1 to 13 to stay at home as second wave of COVID-19 spreads. On the foreign scene, outgoing U.S. President Donald Trump grants presidential pardon to 73 persons. Now, the details. The Ondo State Government has insisted that herdsmen must obey the 7-day vacation order issued by Governor Rotimi Akeredolu for them to leave the forest reserves in the state. The State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Donald Ojogo, stated this when he appeared in a live television program. Ojogo was reacting to a statement issued by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. The Commissioner said President Muhammadu Buhari did not endorse the statement by the Presidency, adding that Shehu must explain why he is taking up the fight of criminal elements who masquerade as herdsmen. The Commissioner further said security agents have enough facts that victims of kidnappings in the state were being taken into the thick of the forest reserves by criminal elements who have infiltrated the ranks of the Fulani herdsmen who presently occupy portions of the forest reserves. This report says the Independent National Electoral Commission is considering making the national identity number compulsory for registering voters. A national commissioner at INEC who gave the hint said the NIN would help tackle challenges of underage voting, alien voting, and other challenges associated with registration. The national commissioner disclosed that a final decision would soon be reached on the matter. The INEC official explained that the permanent voter card was only supposed to be in use for a maximum of 10 years, adding that most countries rely on a national database and not the permanent voter card for voting. In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has fixed November 6th for the conduct of the governorship election in Anambra State. INEC Chairman of Information and Voter Education Festus Okoye disclosed this in a statement. Okoye said the date followed a meeting by the Commission to deliberate on the activities for the conduct of the polls, adding that the tenure of Governor Willie Obiano would expire by March 17th, 2022. INEC said a statutory notice on the timetable and schedule of electoral activities would be issued on June 9th. While the collection of forms would commence on June 10th, INEC said the deadline for the conduct of primaries and resolution of conflicts arising from the exercise is the 1st of July. The Bayelsa State House of Assembly has downplayed thoughts of a plan to impeach Governor Doye Diri. The chairman of the House Committee on Information, Orientation and Strategy in the Assembly, Tari Pori, made the denial while briefing newsmen in Yanagoa. Pori said the rumored impeachment moves against Governor Diri were annoying and unfounded. The lawmaker added that the report is an attempt to distract the 6th Assembly of Bayelsa State. The Lagos State government has disclosed that it is monitoring activities of the federal government on the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines in the country. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu also said his administration has opened talks with manufacturers of COVID-19 vaccines to augment whatever will be distributed by the federal government. Governor Sanwo-Olu, at a media briefing in Alausa in Lagos, said these efforts are being made to ensure that Lagosians are well catered for when the vaccines arrive Nigeria.
We're closely monitoring the ongoing discussion by federal government to procure vaccines for use in Nigeria. We have also opened discussions with various vaccine manufacturers so that when the vaccines come eventually, we can ensure that Lagosians are well catered for. And so in the meantime, we are developing a strategy to articulate the criteria, the regulation, and the monitoring of Lagosians. We also have what we call the private sector collaboration regarding our isolation centers and our labs. The Lagos State government is actively partnering with the private sector in the management of COVID-19 pandemic in the areas of testing, which I've mentioned, oxygen deployment, as well as the clinical management of moderate to severe cases.
He also said over 500 persons have been arrested and convicted for violating COVID-19 protocols, just as he warned that the task force will keep clamping down on violators of COVID regulations.
Accordingly, the Lagos State government will deploy effective messaging and education while rigorously enforcing all guidelines through the respective state agencies. We will continue to clamp down on all persons and organizations who flout the protocols and guidelines we have established. So far, and I'm sure you're aware, a total of about 556 persons have been arrested for breaching the COVID-19 regulations, and 500 of them prosecuted and convicted to date. Whilst we have over 35 clubs and event centers having been sealed, the Safety Commission and Lagos State Task Force will continue to carry out enforcement across the state and will not hesitate to bring errant defaulters to book.
The Lagos State Governor therefore appealed to residents of the state to continue to observe all COVID-19 protocols to avoid an uncontrollable outbreak of the virus. The Rivers State Government has directed civil servants on salary grade level 1 to 13 to stay at home due to the second wave of COVID-19. Governor Nyesom Wike issued the directive in statement signed by the head of service, Rufus Godwins. He said Governor Wike directed the affected civil servants to stay away except those on essential duty. Godwins added that while officers from grade levels 14 and above should be on duty and assume full responsibility for their offices till further notice, all permanent secretaries and heads of extra-ministerial offices should ensure compliance with this directive and observe strictly all COVID-19 protocols. He said the directive, which takes effect from today, shall remain in force until further notice. The decision of the management of the University of Port Harcourt University Demonstration Primary and Secondary School to split the school study times for the students and pupils appears not to be going down well with parents and guardians of the students. This is because the parents, who were informed of decisions to have 2 sessions from 8 a.m. to 12 noon and from 12 noon to 4 p.m. on arriving at the school to drop their children, protested against the decision of the UDE. The protesting parents said having 2 sessions of the school study time will not be in the best interest of the parents. The parents demanded for a meeting with the management of the school to prefer other possible ways of handling the academic schedule. A management staff who addressed the parents said they were only acting on the directive of the acting vice chancellor of Uniport to curb the spread of coronavirus.
It's not very palatable, but I have to do that in the authority. We are all expected to do that. And let me conclude here by saying that as parents, you can liaise with your leader, chairman of PTA, to put whatever is your feeling, probably to the manager.
You are listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Please stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Welcome back. You're still listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM. Thanks for staying tuned. A Rivers State High Court has resolved the litigation over the traditional stool of Rumo-Aganolu community in Obiakpo local government area of the state 10 years after. The family of Rumoki, who claimed to be the third and second son of Aganolu, had approached the court seeking an order to declare their family the rightful people to assume the paramount stool of the community, while the second defendants, who are the Owusu family immediately after the burial of the late Eze, assumed the throne. But Justice M.W. Danagogo in his judgment said the claimant and second defendants in the matter failed to establish their cases. Justice Danagogo ruled that members of Oroma family, who are the first defendants in the matter, remain the rightful people to produce the person to be installed as the paramount ruler of Aganolo community. The judge ruled that any step already taken by the second defendants and claimant is illegal, just as he directed the Rumokuta Council of Chiefs to install any person recommended by the Oroma family. Justice Danagogo consequently issued a perpetual injunction against the claimant and second defendants and awarded the sum of 500,000 naira in favor of the Oroma family. Defendant in the matter, Issa
however, under Equity Native Law and Custom, the mourning period of 1 year must be allowed to pass, which was not allowed to pass by the claimants and the second defendant counter claimant. And the court agreed with the first defendant, that is the Oroma family, and the third defendant, the Yemenu family, to the effect that, look, anything done before now by the claimants, that is OK family, and the Owusu family, the second family, that they are illegal, invalid, and does not exist. And that the Rumokuta Council of Chiefs must only, by the order of court, to only accept any person produced by the Oroma family, the first kitchen.
Some residents and landowners at Royal Estate within former SAS office in Rukboku in Obiakwa local government area of River State have raised an alarm over the demolition of their properties. A correspondent who visited the site cited a bulldozer with an operator destroying some buildings and fences with men on uniform suspected to be from the Inspector General of Police Monitoring Unit. The chairman of the estate, Edward Wonkwo Tasie, who spoke to our correspondent, said they were surprised to see the machine in company of police personnel destroying their properties. Wonkwo Tasie, who called on the Inspector General of Police, Commissioner of Police and Governor Yeson Wike to urgently intervene, said there has been no litigation over the landed properties in the estate.
The following day, I came back and saw people walking. Police, I approached them and I asked them, what are they doing here? This still is people's property they are demolishing. They asked me, who are you? I told them I am the chairman of this estate. They said, okay, that the Roma community or Mr. One more won the place and is coming to this place. I said, no, this place was not part of the place they won. That I think before we got all these things, we followed it. And moreover, the Roma community told us that they have already appealed the judgment. And since the judgment has been appealed, there will be a state of execution to that effect. Why are they doing this without the consent of the people that own the property? We've been occupying there since 2015. I call it that let government ask the police officers to go.
On his part, a Port Harcourt-based human rights lawyer, O.C. Hire-King, and Chancellor of International Society of Human Rights and Justice, Ominazu Jackson, said the rights of the affected property owners have been violated, adding that it is against the law for police to be involved in a civil matter.
The litigant himself, the person whose judgment is in his favor, does not even have right to assist in the execution. So I was wondering, that is why we are saying, let the IG of Nigeria, let the CP of River State, let the DSS, let the governor, His Excellency Governor Wike, call these people to order, because this could lead to bloodbath. It could lead to mayhem. It could lead to communal crisis. Somebody cannot, police be withdrawn immediately. Police does not have a hand.
It has been noticed that the moment a petition gets to a police station, the petitioner becomes right. Or you wriggle yourself out in proving your innocence, sometimes your rights have been grossly violated. Sometimes money has exchanged hands. And we are saying that the current law, even the president signed into law by October last year, that the police should first and foremost, after receiving a petition, do their due diligence.
A senior officer attached to the IGP monitoring unit who does not want to be recorded said they were at the site on the orders of the court and to ensure peace and security in the area. On the foreign scene, Joe Biden is to be sworn in as United States President today, taking the helm of a nation racked by political division and an unrelenting pandemic. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will take the oath of office alongside him in Washington, D.C., which has been fortified amid fears of civil unrest. Some 25,000 troops will guard the inauguration ceremony after a deadly riot at the Capitol earlier this month. Donald Trump will leave the White House for the first time, bound for Florida. In the final hours of his presidency, Donald Trump has pardoned 73 people, including his former advisor Steve Bannon, who is facing fraud charges. Another 70 people had sentences commuted ahead of Joe Biden's inauguration as president. Rapper Lil Wayne received a pardon, and there were commutations for rapper Kodak Black and former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. However, the president has not issued preemptive pardons for himself or family members. To end the news, here's a summary of the major stories. The Ondo state government has insisted that herdsmen must leave the forest reserves in 7 days, despite an opposition from a presidential aide, Garba Shehu. INEC is considering making the national identification number compulsory for voters' registration. The Rivers state government has directed civil servants from level 1 to 13 to stay at home as the second wave of COVID-19 spreads. On the foreign scene, outgoing U.S. President Donald Trump has granted a presidential pardon to 73 persons in his last full day in office. That was the news as edited by Chinedu Iwuna. For comments and inquiries, please call 0818-389-2850 or send your emails to news@thefmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.thefmlive.com. Do not forget, take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap on the running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. I am Wisdom Obina. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.